So I call to order this regular scheduled meeting of the 35th City Council for May 19th, 2026, scheduled at 7 p.m. I'd like to ask everyone in attendance to please remind you to shut off or silence your cell phones or communications devices as to not disturb the meeting. Mr. Clerk, can we have the roll?
Councilmember O'Reilly.
Here.
Councilmember Enos.
Here.
Councilmember Paris.
Here.
Councilmember Abraham.
Here.
Councilmember Hammoud.
Here.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Here.
Council President Sereni.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. At this time, I'm introducing the, correct? Jake, is that right?
That's right.
All right, so I'd like to thank everyone for being here and in attendance, and it's my honor to introduce Pastor Dan Rumthen from the Guardian Lutheran Church, who will deliver tonight's invocation. I'd like everyone that can please stand and remain standing after for our Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Thank you. Every day is a good day to be a child of God. Our churches, we're celebrating Easter, Jesus' Ascension, this Sunday, Pentecost, outpouring of the Holy Spirit, Holy Trinity in a couple weeks. So it's a great time to be a child of God and great time to be the church. So Psalm 8 just has a great verse repeated twice. O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. And we pray. Heavenly Father, we are blessed. We thank you for all your blessings here in Dearborn. In so many ways, you bless us each and every day. We just pray your continued blessings upon our government officials, our first responders, our business leaders, our residents, and just all who just make Dearborn a wonderful place. We just pray your guidance and blessing on the meeting tonight. Bring your strength, your wisdom, your guidance, and fairness for all people. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Appreciate that. All right, Mr. Clerk, let's begin with the first item of business.
Item number 4 is the resolution by Council Members El Sawafi and Paris recognizing the 5 Alberta Muirhead Teacher of the Year Student Choice Award winners and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The City Council would like to recognize the 5 Alberta Muirhead Teachers of the Year Student Choice Awards. These awards were given out in person by our Executive Secretary, Jackie, at the teachers' event on April 29th. The following educators of the 2026 winners was Sarah Dawood from Salina Elementary, pre-K second grade winner. Michelle Efort from Whitmore Bowles, third grade, she third through fifth grade winner. Nicole Rodriguez from Stout, and she was the middle school winner. And David Rashmont from Dearborn High School, he was the winner there. And Thera Shandon, the adult education winner. So these 5 teachers have provided excellence and were chosen. This acknowledgement was received and unanimously supported by the City Council and shall be given immediate effect. Nothing like being recognized for the teachers and the work that they do, and we wanted to make sure as the council that we recognize them for their great achievements. Any questions or comments? Any objection? Unanimous roll. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 5, resolution by Council Members Enos and Paris recognizing Mr. Walid Al-Hayafi for being selected to the U.S. Youth Soccer Olympic Development Program U17 National Team and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The 35th Dearborn City Council wishes to recognize Walid Al-Hayafi for being selected U.S. Youth Soccer Olympic Development Program U17 National Team, a competitive roster that identifies top players from across the country. Mr. Al-Hayafi, we got to pronounce that. How do you pronounce it? Al-Hayafi. Got it. Mr. Al-Hayafi is currently a senior at Fortson High School, one of the best high schools in the city. You got it. It will represent the United States in international soccer matches against Spanish academies and shall be given immediate effect. Folks, it's a big deal. Soccer, as everybody knows, is the largest sport in the world. And to have a young man in our high schools, this young being looked at this stage for Olympics, it holds a very special part for myself. My father was fortunate coming from overseas to be selected to the 1968 Mexico Olympics to represent his country in running track and field. So I know the dedication that is required to be even considered with your name and an Olympian or proposed to be in a tryout for an Olympic aspect throughout the world. It's the best of the best. And to be, our hometown, Fortson High School, and a young man from our community, the council could not pass this up without recognizing his family and himself. So we would like to go ahead right now and attach the immediate effect. But what we're going to do is have the council come down and have the young man come up by himself. We'll get a photo with him, and then we'll bring his family and everyone up to get a photo and give him his recognition. So tremendous job. Does any of my colleagues have anything to say about? None of you guys played Olympics, did you? All right, just wanted to make sure. So immediate effects shall be attached. We're going to come down and have him come forward for the event. Yes.
Right in the middle. Yeah.
All right, Waleed, I can't thank you enough, young man. Waleed, just keep in mind when you do make it, we expect you to bring us a soccer ball back signed.
Yeah.
I will take it in possession.
7 of them.
7 of them, that's right, that's right. One for the mayor, one for the mayor. Hey,
9.
I wanted to thank
Mr.
you guys.
Yusuf Mohammed?
Yeah,
Mr. Yusuf Mohammed is his uncle?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to thank you guys for the recognition. Waleed is definitely worth it. He definitely works hard, and his parents work even harder, like you said. They do a lot of work to bring that into play. So thank you guys for inviting us over here. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilman. I appreciate everybody that was here. Thank you.
Thank you, thank
Take
you.
care.
Alf Mabruk. You guys are all set. If you do decide to exit, please just try to do it because we're trying to get other seats in. But thank you, Waleed, and we're going to be following you. All right, you got it. All right, Mr. Clerk, you had the unanimous roll attached?
Yes.
Next item.
Item number 6, resolution by Council President Pro Tem Al Sawafi and Councilmember Paris recognizing May 6th through May 13th, 2026 as National Police Week in the city of Dearborn and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Ms. Clerk. This resolution recognizes National Police Week, which places special recognition to those law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the line of duty or the safety and protection of others. We would like to recognize the brave men and women who serve not only our local community, but also across the country during this week. The 35th Dearborn City Council recognizes May 6th through May 13th, 2026 as National Police Week. This resolution shall give shall be given immediate effect. We always like to recognize these national holidays as the council, and of course, pay tribute to one of the main and deciding factors that many of our residents choose to live in our city of Dearborn because of our great public safety, whether it's the police department or the fire department, and we just want to make sure we recognize them and thank them for all that they do. Any objection, unanimous roll?
Can I just make a quick remark?
Mayor, of course.
Thank you so much, Council President. Policing is one of the most difficult jobs that we have, and we are so blessed to have one of the greatest departments here in the city of Dearborn. And just this Sunday, we had the Sergeant Hampton Memorial 5K, and that is in recognition of one of our own officers that we lost many years ago, and the tradition still continues to keep it in our memories and ensuring that we're putting into practice the values that they carry out there each and every single day. And so we're thankful for our public safety men and women who are in uniform each and every single day, and we're doing our best to ensure that they are returned home safely to their families every single night. So thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor. And a unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 7, resolution by council members Enos and O'Reilly, recognizing May 18th through May 24th, 2026 as National Public Works Week in the city of Dearborn and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Ms. Clerk. The 35th Dearborn City Council proudly recognized May 18th through the 24th of 2026 as National Public Works Week. Public Works professionals, engineers, managers, and frontline employees play a vital role in maintaining our infrastructure that supports our health, safety, and quality of life. From managing transportation systems and water services to responding to emergencies and maintaining public facilities, these individuals work tirelessly to ensure that our community remains safe, functional, and resilient. This week serves as a time to honor their commitment to encourage all residents to recognize the essential contributions public works men and women teams make every single day. Their dedication not only sustains critical infrastructure, but also encourages the well-being of our entire city. So we also would like to recognize them. I do know during our budget time, I'm not sure we have a deputy director here, but we had, I think, a record number of water main breaks of folks, and that's just has to do with climate and change. When you have freezes and thaws, many of you know we're almost in June, and it's still not that much sun out there and thing. This sun is from a vacation. It's not from outside of my backyard. But yes, so what's very important is that these men and women had a record number of water main breaks throughout our city, and you have seen how fast they have made the repairs and got the lines back working. I know there is time that it takes to finish the roads, but I think people understand at least the water is working and it's drinkable, and we have to fix back up the patches that were done. But I'd like to recognize our hard working men and women in the public works at DPW. Any other questions or comments?
Can I make a comment?
Of course, Mayor.
Thank you so much. Just today we launched our neighborhood walks, which is why I'm dressed a little bit more casually, because I'm not sure what you'd call it. But 2-hour walks in our neighborhoods, which we largely do with our public works staff, picking up litter and debris, identifying trees that have to be trimmed or cut down or diseased, identifying potholes, sidewalks that have greater than 3-inch differentials between one another, avoiding hazardous trip and falls. To Council President's point, when your water goes out in the middle of the night, if it's negative 10 degrees like we experienced this winter, these are the individuals that are coming out in the middle of the night with one phone call, and they're working relentlessly to get that water back on for you before the morning commences, before the sun rises. And they're doing so in very wet clothes, wet shoes, wet boots, and in the negative cold, and they usually come out looking like icicles. But they do it all the time. When a windstorm comes through and all the trees fall over, our public safety personnel go out there, but so do our public works personnel. If a car is crashing through a building, far too frequently in the city of Dearborn, Public Works has to go out there and assist with ensuring everything is safe and happening. And so oftentimes unsung heroes that are working day in and day out. And so we're just so thankful for all they do each and every single day.
Thank you, Mayor. Any unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 8, resolution by council members Paris and Enos, recognizing May as National Mental Health Awareness Month in the city of Dearborn and calling this observance to the attention of all of our employees, residents, and members of the business community, and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The 35th Dearborn City Council likes to recognize May 2026 as National Mental Health Awareness Month, joining the nationwide effort that has taken place since May 1949. Mental illness can disturb a person's emotions, thinking, and behavior, often impacting their ability to function on their daily life. This annual observance aims to raise awareness, fight stigmas, educate our public, and advocate for policies that support those living with mental health conditions and their families. The 35th City Council encourages all residents, government agencies, healthcare providers, organizations, and research institutions to take part in recognizing Mental Health Awareness Month by promoting and understanding and supporting the City of Dearborn affirms its commitment to helping individuals live healthier and more fulfilling lives and calls attention to the importance of mental wellness throughout our community. Any questions or comments? Okay. And a unanimous resolution shall be attached. Next item.
Item number 9, resolution by council members El Sawafi and O'Reilly recognizing May as Military Appreciation Month in the city of Dearborn and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The 35th Dearborn City Council proudly represents May 2026 as Military Appreciation Month, honoring the unwavering dedication and sacrifices of the United States Armed Forces. The freedom and security enjoyed by citizens today are a direct result of the commitment and service of these brave individuals, both past and present. This month serves as a reminder to reflect on their contributions, acknowledge the vital role they play in upholding our Constitution, and expressing our gratitude for their efforts in preserving liberty. Shall it be resolved that the 35th Dearborn City Council recognize May 2026 as Military Appreciation Month in the city of Dearborn and may it be given immediate effect. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
It is time for public comment.
All right, so at this time, we have some public comment cards. There is several people here to speak on item 21. That is in our consent agenda, so those residents, we have you, and you will be heard. We're going to have you come at that time when we adopt a consent agenda. We'll have you speak at that time. So the public comment is adopted by the council to allow our residents to have their voice be heard before waiting for our entire agenda. You're allotted a 3-minute time limit. You have to state your name for the record. And just keep in mind that the clerk will give you a 30-second warning to let you know when you're done. So, Mr. Clerk, the time limit for the beginning of the first public comment, because there's one at the end, is 30 minutes. So we will begin at 7:54 p.m. So at this time, what I'm going to do is we have some students here that have been waiting patiently, and we'd like to hear from them. I know they have a specific version they'd like to read. So who's going to start first? Mariam? Okay, would you like to come forward? You could either one of the podiums and just state your first and last name.
My name is Miriam Hawk, and I go to Henry Ford Elementary. I'm a 4th grader. Dearborn Public Schools hopes you could consider giving us curbside yard waste collect, and we would appreciate you so much for doing that.
Thank you. Okay, just say your name, both of you separately, okay?
Arish Al-Banna.
And my name's Ava Faraj.
Okay.
Thank you, City Council, for putting owl boxes in Dearborn City Parks.
We want to remind the citizens of Dearborn not to poison rats or mice because it kills the screech owls and can harm small children too.
Okay, next, and just each one of you state your names.
My name is Ella. And my name is Nadine.
We are from
Henry
Henry
Ford
Ford.
Elementary. We wonder if the city of Dearborn could put bat boxes in the parks
because the owl boxes were so successful. Here is why.
They reduce pesticide use because they eat mosquitoes, moths, and beetles. They are essential plant pollinators.
They pollinate fruit like bananas and peaches, and they are effective seed dispersers.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Fariel. The Ecology Club kids rescued and donated items and had a spring sale to raise money to buy tools and plants for our pollinator garden.
Hi, my name is Marianne. What if the city of Dearborn on the city libraries offered classes to teach adults and kids how to rescue or fix things?
Instead of throwing them out, imagine how much we could reduce the amount of trash that goes into landfills.
The city could hire 7 Bedouin.
Okay. Is that right? Well, let's get his name.
That actually was something that was crossed out. We
Okay,
were
that's
editing.
okay.
So that was one of our students who is a master fixer of things, so they could hire him if the library didn't want to speak.
All right, that's good. That's excellent. So the last two, can you guys just state your name in the record so we have that for you guys? Your name?
Adam. Tio.
All right, phenomenal job. Anyone else?
Just me.
Okay, absolutely.
So thank you for listening to all of the students' ideas on how to make the city of Dearborn a more amazing place to live. Our last request is from our entire school community. Can you please add to all Dearborn Public Schools a citywide curbside for yard waste collection? Currently, our crew throws the yard waste away, unless you have a dedicated staff and crew that will bag it up and the teacher will lug it home. So please help us eliminate yard waste from being thrown away in our entire district. And my back would thank the city council profusely if you add yard waste collection to all of the Dearborn Public Schools like you did with our garbage recycling.
Recycling, yeah, which is something that I know I had brought forward on my original term. I was surprised that the school board or the school didn't have that.
Yes,
that was
it's
14 years
shocking
ago.
to me too.
Yeah,
so
and
thank you for
I brought
agreeing,
that
and we'll
forward,
look
yeah.
forward to seeing that coming to
So
happen.
hopefully we'll do something with the yard waste. Tremendous job, folks. Let's give them a round of applause. Jackie. All right. Thank you, guys, and we'll make sure the video gets to you guys. Right, Jackie? Yes. We'll get you the video of that portion. Thank you guys for coming out and being patient and waiting for your time to speak.
We should just have them put the bags across the street at the residents' houses.
All right, so next we'll go to more public comment section. We have Ms. Fogarasi, Maria Fogarasi. Yep. Fogarasi?
It's been 5 years now.
Mustafa.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Maria Fogarasi. I live at 22203 Long Boulevard, and I'm here to talk about the gates that we have at Ford Field now, supposedly permanently closing off the entire top parking structure. So when I heard about this, I thought, how can this happen? And somebody said, well, the city wants it that way. But thankfully, we live in a city and a country where we can ask why and hopefully get a rational reason. So I wrote a letter to the police department. They called me. The first officer didn't know it had happened. The second officer said, well, there are some security concerns in the neighborhood. You have to talk to Parks and Rec. So then I went to Parks and Rec, and this was the statement that I got. And I should mention that I work at Ford Field. Regarding the closure at Ford Field, the decision was made due to safety concerns raised by our team, the police department, and local residents regarding traffic within the north side parking lot and the horseshoe area. While we anticipate some growing pains with this change, we believe there's ample parking available on the south side for parkgoers. So I don't understand how this could happen without some kind of public discourse or a study session. I mean, we're not talking about a pocket park. We're not talking about a change in hours or, the rental policy prices. We're talking about Ford Field. We're talking about the oldest park in the city that just celebrated its 90th birthday, and possibly the largest park. I'm not sure about that. And so I am wondering, how could this happen? Now, I will admit, in the evening, it gets crazy in the horseshoe area. But let's look at the time from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and all the people who are affected by those gate closures now who can't drive up there and park. We have a lot of people who come during that time. Starting at 6 in the morning, we have people who come just to park their car and look out over the field. Beautiful field, it's green. Green is a very soothing color. Green is the color of hope. Our country, our world, we need a lot of hope right now. We have people coming to the playground. We have grandparents, we have families, we have mothers, we have pregnant mothers. Sometimes we have sport coaches who drive up there and park with the equipment for their children. We have sledders in the wintertime. We have a lot of people during the day. And there's not a lot of noise during the day. There's not a lot of rambunctious parking. So this is really difficult for this time period to understand why these gates are closed. I was out there on Sunday and there was a resident across the street and I said to him, "Oh, what do you think about this?" He said, "I don't like it. I'm really angry." He said, "Parents need some place where they can drop their children off, and now they're just dodging." And I thought to myself, oh, aren't we always talking about making our schools and parks and
You have
those
30
areas
seconds.
around safe? So then I thought back to this study session that did happen for Ford Field in October of 2024, and all the good things that have been done since then. And I know at that time, some of you took the trouble to talk to a lot of residents and find out both sides of the equation. Thankfully, we were allowed to keep that beautiful playground up at top. You know, we have the gates now. We have security. The gates aren't always easy for the park people. The park supervisor on these
Sorry,
bitter
time has
cold.
expired.
Oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
You can finish your thought, but yeah, the 3-minute limit, but go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, I think that we should open those gates for that time period. I think there should be a study session where you look at both sides of the equation and then make an informed decision after that from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m.
All right,
But-
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir
Thank
Maria. I'll
you.
answer a few questions, and you may remain because you might want to respond, which you can. So I know the mayor wants to chime in. I can tell you that this is not, that's a administrative action done by the mayor. I can say that I was involved in that. I live in the area. The association has had meetings for years regarding the park up at the top and what was going on up there. So it started with gates that did not, fences, I'm sorry, without gates, because there was young children that were leaving unattended. Now, I understand we need people to drop their kids and have a place to play, but there's a difference between dropping your kid and leaving them and they run across the street and being attentive to the child. And I know that you don't subscribe to that aspect, but what I'm saying is this was not done in haste. This was an association over years that have had concerns of the amount of traffic that was at the top of the park that were running across the streets, and it was extremely dangerous. So we started with the fence under the mayor's direction, and of course it's council approval for appropriation, but the administrative aspect is the mayor. Now, as far as what timing that opens, that's not under our purview, but I would say publicly that I agree with you at 6 a.m. The concern is in the afternoon where we're seeing a high amount of traffic, and if you notice, as you live in the area like I do, people were parking the cars there for sale. That's not allowed. Trailers, that's not allowed either, right? And we've been making sure that we curtail that because you only get what you allow, and the city's trying to make sure that the residents understand that park is a park. It's not places for you to park cars for 2 weeks because you don't want to park them in your driveway. It's not allowed, and I've called in several to the department myself to have them removed. So it has been a concern, but the safety issue was the main concern as far as running across. And I think if you look at it systematically, the fence was put up in almost a year before the gates to allow some transitions. And the police enforcement has been, as you're aware, the park closes at 10 p.m. They're not supposed to be anybody parking there after 10 p.m. No, not one car. So we've been trying to enforce as much as possible. But I'm going to defer, and I'll let you respond, but I'd like to defer to the mayor because we are the appropriation arm, and we did appropriate the money for the fence. As far as the logistical time, I don't want to speak for the mayor, but I live in the area, and so do you. The amount of people that were running across the street and young children that were unsupervised running across the street was without a question a public safety issue, not a question in my mind. And like I said, this was at least 2 or 3 years. Maybe the mayor can shed some light on it, if not more, in the making. But I understand your concerns. Mayor?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. Thank you for your remarks. And so I think to the Council President's points, this is Cherry Hill car traffic is probably the #1 complaint I hear about for that neighborhood. The speeding, the reckless driving. We often get videos of folks who have surveillance cameras in their houses showing the reckless driving behavior, so on and so forth. And so first, we've examined it several times, and over the years, we've made small adjustments. You see the rise of the speed humps. you see the rise of the flashing stop signs. You saw the rise of a fence only around the playground initially to make sure that our children are protected. Then we kind of expanded the fence line to assist us with flow of traffic. And now what you're seeing is we still haven't been able to manage the amount of car traffic that happens only during the summer period where it's excessive, really when post-school being out. And so the thought process was, can we divert a lot of the car traffic to Brady, where there's not really abutting a residential neighborhood, park in the larger parking lot, avoiding maybe a lot of the back and forth that happens on Cherry Hill. That was really the primary thought behind this, going back and forth with the neighborhood association in the area, many residents back and forth with policing, parks and staff, so on and so forth. So it's been about a week. And to your point, can you open the gate 6 a.m. to 5 p.m.? You can do that. I think the question that and again, this is pilot mode, right? It's if a car is trapped in there and you're ready to close the gate, you have to find the person to get back to the car, try to get them to get out before you close the gates for heavy car traffic. But ultimately, it's about traffic safety, which is the number one complaint. And we're just trying to, where possible, push car traffic away from residential neighborhoods to create a safer environment for everybody that's in the area. And so we're open to any and all suggestions. We've had study sessions. I know the neighborhood association actually has another meeting this Thursday. I'll be present at that neighborhood association meeting. The new playscape, which will be at the bottom of Ford Field, is actually expected to be installed in September of this year. And so it'll be a 6-week installation process. It'll be complete by mid-October, God willing. But that's the overarching goal, is trying to minimize that foot traffic. Now, is it perfect? It's not a perfect solution. Again, we're piloting it. It's been a week. And so we'll see kind of how it goes. You saw the signs just go up a few days ago on the fence itself saying, please park off Brady to enter Ford Field. But in no way, Ford Field is not closed. It is one of the largest parks. It's a park that I frequent with my family and my children. And we are trying to do our best to have folks, maybe avoid running down Cherry Hill back and forth, because a lot of folks already use it as a major thoroughfare. They use it as a cut through. So if Michigan Avenue is backed up, people are cutting through Cherry Hill. If military is backed up, they're cutting through Cherry Hill. And so minimizing that traffic, if we can push them to Brady, I think would be a point of relief for the residents in peak season, again, which is just this Memorial Day to Labor Day period. Alternatively, what we have been doing, the gates have been open during park normal functioning hours, and we have been closing them at night. And I think the good positive outcome there is we're no longer getting the random 911 calls talking about cars burning out in the larger parking lot or at the top just hanging out late into the hours. And so those issues have been addressed, but now we're kind of piloting this next phase to see if it's worthwhile or not.
Would you like to respond, of course.
I would like to respond. The gates, yes, I have no issue with the gates, although the park manager was down there on these freezing minus 10-degree mornings in the winter with numb fingers because the combination locks freeze, and he's using a cigarette lighter to try to open them. Okay, it's not the winter anymore. If you're keeping the children there with the gates, how can we talk about them running back and forth across Cherry Hill? I think the speed bumps, I think the flashing lights have been fantastic. Again, I still think during the day this is a pretty calm and peaceful situation. I don't think it warrants closing those gates completely. I think it's unfair to people who've come for all these different reasons for many years. I think you could put up signs saying if you're still parked here after 5 o'clock, you'll be ticketed or towed. Of course, it's an inconvenience, but now some people are parking on the side streets. Local residents don't like that either. I've heard there are going to be parking signs that say resident parking only, but I'm on shaky ground here. I don't know. Couldn't theoretically the people who live by Levigood when Dunworth is crazy, could they also ask for resident parking signs on their streets? What's so different between one and the other?
Just on that note, I think they approached the traffic safety commission about that. That's typically where they make their appeal, but there's no decision on providing resident parking. To your point, anybody near a park can make that argument. Yes, you do have folks who might be parking across the street. Again, I think it's been 4 days. And so I think there's an education component to this. Is it possible where you can, put up a sign and say after 5 p.m. we want to push traffic towards Brady? I think that's 100% within reason.
Yes.
It's something that we can explore. To your point, I think, again, I think it's literally just been this first week. And I know for a lot of folk, it's, listen, as a father of 3 who likes to unload immediately right next to the playscape, I understand it. But I'm also trying to take into account, which is the number one complaint during the summer season, that area having been a father who waited 35 minutes to use a swing at that park, it gets very congested, and the speeding and reckless driving, with all the traffic calming measures we have put in, it's not 100%. You know, 99% compliance is great, but all it takes is one incident, and that's the thing that we're trying to avoid the
Right.
most.
But I
Right,
think-
and we're also, Maria, just so you know, too, we also had, Mayor, if you don't mind, we also, as I said, I live in the area, and I will be attending the meeting on the association, but there has been, a lot of the people that are frequenting the park are more than welcome, but they are, also, there has been an uptick in vagrants that, going into the neighborhoods, and there has been an uptick in some crime, some of it was publicized, so we have to make sure the park entrance is Brady. That's the main entrance. That up part is not designed for that many people at that spot. It's just not designed for that as well. So I think that's the concern too. But there's not only the safety of the children running across the street, which happened, but it's also concern of the people going in through the neighborhoods, and then an increase in issues police related.
I understand. I still don't think during the day that is an issue.
During
I
the
don't see it
day, I
happening.
agree.
100% open to
So-
that. And I would say, just for the, because of time, and I know other folks are waiting to speak.
Yep.
You'll be at the neighborhood association meeting on Thursday, God willing, and then we can carry the conversation with the broader whole neighborhood present.
That's the country club. Well, I
Yeah.
think you're in the different association, right, Mara?
Oh, well,
But
Maybe
you're
I
more than
could-
welcome.
it might be worthwhile.
I'm not
coming.
Mara, but maybe I could come to your
Where-
association as
yeah,
a guest.
Riverbend?
Yeah.
I'm Riverbend.
Riverbend, yeah, that's where I was,
Yeah.
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 But yeah, they're having it, the Country Club Estates, but Thursday at 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
Anyway,
thank you for your concerns, though. It's well warranted. and
Yes,
it-
thank you. I appreciate you hearing me out. I don't
course.
think it's right. I don't think it's fair during the day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well pointed, and we do share your sentiments regarding the times. Councilman Paris.
Thank you, Council President. The only reason why I want to speak on this is because I've noticed it recently too, and some people notified me about it and asked my opinions about it. I know fully well those fences were put up originally because of the traffic. I mean, I believe we're all aware of that on council because we saw it. You know, I saw it myself. But I went, as soon as I saw this, I think it was this last Thursday or Friday, that the gates were closed on one part and part of it was open, and then finally during the weekend that they were locked. I went myself down there and noticed that there were a few people up in the playgrounds. I talked to about a dozen people this past weekend that were there, and some of them lived in the neighborhood, some of them were even on Long Boulevard, but some were from across the street also from the park. And I asked them their opinion of it, and they said, well, for the safety of the kids, we like that the fences are put up and so on, but a couple of them said, you know, there's really no place to park now. Now, if we got to park below at the lower level, which I had to do, you know, looking at this too, I mean, it's quite a few steps to be able to use that park on the upper level. You can't really do it with little kids very easily, especially if they're in tow. So anyways, I asked them, well, how do you think that we could resolve this by having the fence still up for the safety, but how can we resolve this then to take care of this whole situation? They did not want that first gate closed, so a lot of them did not want that first gate closed that's closest to the playground. Or they wanted it closed, my apologies to that. They wanted it closed, but it was brought up, well, what about the parking lot on the upper level? Keeping that open and having people park there, and that way they have to bring the kids to the park and they have to bring the kids back, and all the gates are closed along the way that the kids would not be running into the streets and so on. And what's a concern of mine, though, too, is they're taking away 30 to 40 parking spots on that horseshoe on a crowded day that people would have to go down below. And people are not apt to park down below and use the upper parking lot unless you're in the neighborhood and walk there. But there's also 30 parking spaces on that main parking lot, 2 of which are recharging stations, and I don't know what our thoughts might be, what we're going to do with those charging stations. But me personally, I like some of the ideas that Maria brought up, and I appreciate, too, that it's a pilot program. So we're going to look at it. The administration is going to look at it further. But I really do think that something else needs to be done with that can't just take that whole upper level away from the people using that small park. And that's only my opinion.
All right, thank you,
So
Mr. Councilman. Any other comments from my colleagues? All right, we need to move on to the Couple other ones we have here. Remember, kind reminder, we only have 30 minutes. I can't get to you, we might have to wait till the agenda's completed, but I'm going to try to speed through these as fast as possible, both allowing people to be heard. So we have Jad, is he still here? Okay, I believe he did leave. Okay. Anise? Okay. Deborah? Yes. All right. Just kind of reminder, just your name and address for the record.
Sure. Good evening, council members and Mayor Hammoud. My name is Deborah Freer, and I am not a Dearborn resident. I'm the Assistant Director for Transportation Riders United, and we advocate, educate, and mobilize the community for more and better public transit. I would like to ask that the City Council and the Mayor consider a resolution to support the Wayne Countywide ballot proposal to expand transit all over Wayne County. It's very important for seniors who are trying to remain independent, and we really need to give them a viable solution when it's time to drive, or excuse me, time to retire from driving. There are people with mental and physical disabilities that are not able to drive, and we really need to take care of everyone in our community. When I say community, I mean Wayne County. I appreciate your consideration, and if there are ever any opportunities for us to give an educational presentation, we would be happy to do that. We are a 501c3, so we do just educate on this particular matter. So thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate that. All right, next we have AJ. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Council. Mayor, it's an honor to be here. I'll be brief.
Just your name and for the record.
Yes, sir. AJ Freer. I live in Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Okay.
I've just achieved 30 years at Ford Motor Company, though, working in this beautiful, diverse city. Very fond of this city. I've also represent many workers throughout this city and negotiate their wages and benefits. One of the biggest impediments to people getting started these days, young folks, people with challenges, is transportation insecurity. Many folks that I know take 2 to 3 buses to get to work to make $19 an hour. If we expand this busing system, not only do we help a lot of veterans that need it, but we have people that are trying to get their lives started and just can't afford an automobile right now. But one day they may be able to. So I want to thank you for your time, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, appreciate that.
If I can just make a quick comment.
Of
AJ
course,
is very
Mayor.
kind. You know, AJ is one of our local leaders over at Local 600, and we're
excellent.
blessed to have you. But I just want to thank you both. Know that at least I can speak on behalf of myself that we fully support and endorse this millage. We hope that public transit will finally become a reality for one of the major metropolitan areas in the country without a major public transit system. So excited to see this thing come through, and we'll be championing it all the way through.
God bless your leadership. Thank you,
so much,
Council.
AJ.
Thank you, sir. All right, we did have a couple cards with no names, so we would take that assumption that you just wanted it to be put into our record. We will circulate those, Jackie, to all council with no names on them. We have, I think it's Zanea Kelly. Last name's Kelly? Yes.
Hello, Council and Mayor. My name is Zanaya Kelly, Cleveland Street. I want to start off by saying thank you. I'm blessed to be a resident of this beautiful city for several years now, and it's as wonderful as it is in no short kind to all the work that you all do on a daily basis. I want to speak today on the transit millage that is up for vote on August 4th. the August 4th ballot. The point of the millage is to bring public transportation to all of Wayne County, as opposed to this patchwork system where some cities have it and some cities don't. For Dearborn, because we already have public transportation, this will just act as a renewal, and so there's no additional costs or taxes for the city and its residents. This is an all or nothing millage. So as a resident without a car, who relies on her trusty dusty legs and a bike, and of course the bus, I won't be able to get to work easily and may have to consider other accommodations for myself and my colleagues if this transit millage does not pass. I also wanted to speak for my friend Bridget, who wasn't able to make it today, because the public transportation between cities and between counties is lackluster. Bridget has worked as an election polls worker for the past 2 major elections. She says that she cherished the cultural experience of working with your constituents who value politeness and warm neighborliness, and thus she recently committed to working again in August. However, given the gap in transit, she's reconsidering her commitment. Due to the underfunding of public transit in Wayne County for decades now, the transit service is unreliable and inefficient both within and between communities of Wayne County. She says that we are fortunate to have this opportunity to vote in general and to vote on a countywide transit before us yet again. She asks that you consider passing a resolution in support of the countywide transit millage to value equity in transportation and the voting experience of all your constituents. She says that your leadership to pass a resolution in support of public transit will signal a green light towards nothing less than our democratic rights and intersectional freedoms. Because our wonderful mayor has already voiced his support, I appreciate that, and I just want to speak directly to the residents who are here and who can hear me. This is an all or nothing vote. For all the people who rely on public transportation, whether you're an elderly member who loves the independence that brings, a disabled resident who appreciates the freedom that's afforded to them,
You have 30 seconds.
or just a worker like myself who just needs to get to work, get home, and make a living and see her beautiful family all the way in Detroit. This millage matters to all of us. So even if you are fortunate and privileged enough to afford a vehicle and the maintenance required, please consider all the people who don't and rely on this every single day. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have Mary Jo. Thank you.
Good evening, Mary Jo Durvage. I live in Mara neighborhood at the Dearborn on the Park condos. When I came here, I was just going to talk in support of public transit, but I have just a few things, having just been here a few minutes. So first of all, I wish that the public hearing on the budget would have been recorded, because it sounded very interesting, just a little bit I had of it, and it's, you know, it's our money. But anyway. And then I wanted to say about the library, and I did mention this to Patty. It would be great if the library could have sort of maybe a weekly time during the week at Bryant with a van or something where people could pick up their items and return them. So I don't know if that's something they can do. And then the Ford Field thing, I didn't know anything about that. But I know when I am going down Cherry Hill, I see lots of young families, you know, and buggies and everything. I guess I'm thinking these are people in the neighborhood that are like walking up. So I wish there would, maybe there's a way that you can just have just enough room for a stroller to get through and not a car. I mean, I don't know. But I am here to support the transit. And I am a user of transits, especially the 260. And I want to say that, of course, personally, I support transit, but also for anybody in the community who needs the help of transit to lead a full life. And so I hope that you will do the resolution, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, appreciate it, Mary Jo.
I have a question.
So, Councilman, you have a question?
For
Go ahead.
Mary Jo. Oh.
Okay, well,
Mary?
go ahead.
Oh, well, if you'd like to answer. Hi. Have other communities already passed resolutions in support of the smart millage?
Well, I know they were going to bring one before Livonia, but I don't know if that's going to pass. I don't know. Do you know, Deb? I really don't know.
Well,
but some communities have done.
All right.
Well, go on.
That's it. That's my only question. Thank you.
All right.
Guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a few more and just a couple more minutes left on our 30-minute time. We have a family out to bat. There was 3, Hassan, Zainab. Are you, okay.
Council President, we're at 31 minutes right now.
Okay, then I ask for, thank you, Mr. Clerk, for that. I ask for my colleagues to suspend the rules. I'd like to
Motion.
finish these. There's 5 of these cards on the same topic, and then we have the others that we will address during our consent agenda portion. So do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Hammoud. Do we have a support? Support by Councilman Paris. Any objection, unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. So the rules are suspended. We will continue. Okay, ma'am, would you like to begin?
Yes, hi.
How are you?
Good, very
Just
good.
your name.
Okay, so my name is Marzia. I live on Morley Avenue, and it's way past the baby's bedtime, but this issue is very important for us as a family. So my family and I are transplants from Colorado, and we specifically picked Dearborn for the small town atmosphere that it provides. That includes going to a local library and the librarians recognizing our children. As a homeschooling mother of 3 children, the library, but specifically the librarians, have been our center point of resources. So imagine how devastated we were to find out that the City Council is voting to lay off members, at least 30 individuals, from the library. For maybe the City Council, these individuals are numbers on the balance sheet. But for most of us, they are our community. When we visit the library, we don't see numbers. We see Lindsay, we see Kelly, we see the lady who reads story time to us. And to find out that when we go back, after the City Council votes on the new budget, these individuals may no longer be at Ford. We used to visit Bryant. Bryant is now closed for renovations. And then Esper was also closed for renovations. So now we're looking at Ford. And it's very saddening to see that we have 37 individuals that we know by their names, we know their stories and their backgrounds, and suddenly when our kids will go back to the library, these individuals will no longer be at the library. So we ask you, as a family, including my 3 children, please look into this again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, and thanks for being patient. I know you have the children here. But I wanted to make sure you understood. I think before you came in, I had addressed it publicly. We are influxing over $13 million into the libraries, and we have 3 libraries. So in order to repair them and make them nice and beautiful so we can have great story time, we can't have people in there and working when they're closed. So,
I understand.
Right, so what you have, I just want to make sure you understand. The intention was we have 3 libraries and over $11 million that we allocate to for the taxpayers to operate these. We're putting $13 million in renovations in them, so we can't operate them when they're being repaired. So we had to close 2 of them while they're being fixed.
Totally get it. I
All right,
understand.
but I know, if you understand, then I just want to make sure, those people, we can't have them on the payroll of the taxpayers working, Mary, Kelly, and the people you mentioned, when the place is closed.
I'm specifically talking about the Ford Library, the Henry Ford Library, the Centennial Library.
The Centennial, correct. We'll have the director.
The Centennial Library.
Just so you know what's happening at the Centennial.
Yes.
We're having all the full-time employees that are at the other 2 branches. So all 3 branches are going to be fully staffing the 1 branch.
Correct. But
Okay.
not all employees. And
No,
also the part-time, the pagers. We have the pagers who are teenagers who are working at the library, who are responsible for organizing the books, will no longer have jobs in the summer. So we're talking about, I understand that you're talking about aesthetics. I'm talking about the same way a home is made by the people in it, our libraries are made by the individuals in it.
Without question, but I'm not talking about aesthetics. We're putting in the people there. You're assuming that the services will reduce, correct? That we'll have less people working in that. We're not. We're going to have more people working in Henry Ford Library than before because we're consolidating them. So, Director, do you want to address it?
Patty Podzakowski, Interim Director. Thank you for coming. Hello, I recognize you. And I would just like to say that all the people you mentioned by name, those are full-time people, and they will still be there. And we are planning right now our summer programming schedule, which we run for the entire summer, and it is still as robust as ever. There will still be people at the desk, staffing the desk and greeting the children and greeting everybody. We still will have all our full-time people and some part-time people.
So the part-time people who have worked there for decades, and correct
Ma'am,
me-
you got to speak into the mic, just so, sorry.
So correct me, please clarify. So the individuals at the front desk who have worked there for decades, are they part-time or full-time?
There's a mix. We have full
Okay.
and part-time.
And many of those part-time individuals, will they be laid off?
Correct.
They will be laid off?
Yes.
Okay. So it will
Because
not,
two branches are closed.
I'm only specifically talking about Henry Ford.
So you want to know if any, at Henry Ford, will the Henry Ford
So let me
part-time
just
as well,
clarify
Mayor?
this. So the library budget has roughly, how many FTEs we're talking? 70? About 75 full-time employee equivalents. That's between full-time and part-time staff. We want to preserve all the full-time staff from a contractual obligation. And so when we close Bryan Esper, we're relocating all the full-time staff over to Centennial. That improves your capacity with full-time staff that you automatically have at Centennial Library. We're also retaining some of the part-time slots to help supplement the full-time staff at Centennial, but there will be some part-time slots that will be let go for up to a year during the renovation period.
Right.
I'm with you. It's not an easy choice, but right now it's the choice that makes the most sense, given that you can't take all 70 FTEs and move them all into one building. For us, we're making a $13 million investment to ensure the longevity of these institutions for decades to come. And that is the ultimate goal. So I understand it's a short-term, difficult decision to make, but it's understanding that these individuals, we are assisting through our HR to see if we can find other positions within the city, maybe not necessarily with the libraries, but with other divisions and
Mayor,
part-time roles.
These are human wealth. These are individuals who have masters. And I really think that these are individuals that we will be losing as a city, and it'll be our loss.
I understand and I respect that sentiment, and I'm not here to disagree with it. All I'm saying is we're doing our best to try to relocate them in other parts of the city, and then they will also be the first that we contact once the buildings are back open in order for us to fully staff. And I imagine we're going to have to potentially add additional staff, given the renewed programming that will occur at Esper and Bryant with the renovations once complete.
So what you're telling me as a community member is that coming summer, we will not be facing a skeleton staff when we go to the Henry Ford Library.
Correct.
And we'll be fully staffed and we'll have the same level of service that is currently being applied. Is that what I'm hearing as a community member?
Well, I can tell you, as the
Yes.
as the president of the council there, the mayor said it, absolutely. In fact, you should have
Okay.
more people there because everyone is moving there. So if there's a problem, please let us know.
Yes, everybody, exactly. Everybody's
Okay.
moving there. Well,
You got it.
inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for staying and waiting. All right, we have these couple more. We have Maylene. No? Okay, Ali Korani. Okay. So at that time, and then we had mentioned there's some with no names on it. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought it said Maylene. It's hard to read. Okay, just state your name and address for the record.
Melanie Chuckeye. I live in 6457 Benton. I am an attendee at
Dearborn Heights?
Dearborn Heights.
Okay.
However, I'm part of this broad community. I'm in tons of mom groups. I'm in a moms group of over 300 mothers in our local community, and this is where the concern was brought up. So I don't want to take all your time. So I just want to say I'm in support of the library staff, the part-timers. My question is, are they going to have their jobs preserved when they come back?
None of the jobs have been eliminated out of the budget, and
Okay.
so the jobs are preserved.
Okay, great. Thank you for all your work. Just want to say, I see it with my eyes, the hard work these people do and the need for them,
And so do we.
full
That's
support,
why we
yeah.
allocate $11 million of
Amen, and I
taxpayer
see
dollars.
that. Amen.
$11 million in
Beautiful.
Dearborn.
You
And now
guys
we're
are
putting
great.
$13 million in renovations. I'm sorry to be, but to me, like, I always look at that and say, I don't understand. Like, for me, to sit up here and say, we're going to fund your tax dollars, well, you don't live in our city. But let's say you live in Dearborn Heights. I don't know what their budget is for the library, but I'm sure it's not 11 million.
Yeah.
But let's just say, I don't think it's prudent for me to stand here and say we're going to fund people in a place that's closed and it's not operating. Why? We're spending $13 million of your money, not yours, but our taxpayers in Dearborn. By the way, our millage is lower than Dearborn Heights. You may want to consider to move into Dearborn.
support that too
All
as
right.
a nurse.
But the point is,
Yeah.
I cannot sit here in good conscience and say that we're going to keep enough people to run 3 operations in one. It's not feasible. It's not doable. I don't even think it's prudent nor legal or fiduciary. So I just want to make it clear, we are doing everything we can to bring our libraries to a standard, which in the previous administrations, some of these libraries were set to close. That's not what's happening.
Awesome.
We're putting $13 million into them. So I hate to hinder, but it just seems like, I don't know what can we do. I wish we could snap the finger and tomorrow they come and they're all done, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it just as a community, it's very tight knit. There was a little bit of a scare online then, possibly.
Well,
Some
if you
mothers
listen
were
to everything
afraid.
online,
Yeah.
you're
Sure,
going to have
there
major
was
problems.
definitely-
Yeah, that's why I'm glad you came.
Yeah.
But
'Cause people
what says
always
online?
come first before,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's $1 million facility, it's the community and the people that count. you
Well,
know, the
hopefully
whole
they'll be
traditional-
working in a lot better
I hope.
facility when we get it back
Yeah,
open.
and
But we got
thank
to
you
close it
all.
first
Yeah.
to fix it.
I don't want to take your time.
All
I
right.
appreciate
Thank
all
you,
of
guys.
you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. I'll be honest, I apologize for the little candor, but I'll tell you, I don't know how we can have progress without going through this process. We are elected by our residents, and we hold dearly our funding, as I indicated in our budget hearing. We challenged Platte Moran to see where the funding levels for OPEB, our retirees' pension and healthcare. We challenged them to see if there was any city in the state of Michigan better funded than we are. They did not have any. We are doing the best we can with what we have with our taxpayer dollars, and we have to understand that it's limited on, we can't pay people just to sit at home and not work, when we close the library. So I just want to make sure that they understand the library is being renovated. I know it's said online, but all I can say is email the council and look at the council meetings. A lot of people online that do these things and say these things just have bad information, and it's hopefully we clarified it tonight. I think we have one more, and then we have our budget, our next item, which we do have many speakers on our consent agenda item. We have Margot Cleveland.
Thank you. Last month, I had shared...
Ma'am, we just need your name and
Oh,
address for the record.
my apologies. Margot Cleveland, Mohawk Street.
Thank you.
Last month, I had shared with the City Council the fact that the mayor and the city attorney had ignored my request to end the viewpoint discrimination against Christians and Jews in its placement of religious banners that solely celebrated Ramadan in violation of the Establishment Clause. I came to the City Council because you, as you actually just recognized a moment ago, are a separate municipal entity. You have your own power and authority, and you have the authority to allocate money to fund banners that celebrate Easter and Passover. After that meeting, I emailed every one of you asking to talk to you. I was informed the City Council didn't want you talking with me and that I should set up a meeting. I tried, and 2 emails were ignored. I even offered to meet without my lawyer to show that I'm trying to act in good faith to come up with a resolution. But again, it was ignored, which is troubling. But what would be even more troubling is if the city attorney did not advise you of a conflict of interest in representing both the mayor and the city council and you individually. The mayor has already rejected the efforts to put up banners to celebrate Passover and Easter, and in fact, afterwards, put up additional Ramadan banners, as if to say, it doesn't matter what you want. Let me be clear. I came to the City Council because the mayor and his administration ignored my requests. Again, you are a separate municipal entity, and each of you are liable for what you do, not what the mayor does. My request is very simple. You have a budget surplus. We just saw that. Pass a resolution that directs the funding and placement of banners to celebrate Easter and Passover, and have a menorah added to the holiday display. The city council, the city attorney might tell you you can't talk to me, but he can't tell you that you can't propose a resolution. And I would hope that an independent attorney who's representing your best interest would not give the advice to ignore when a citizen is trying to work with you to avoid litigation, to ignore that individual.
You have 30 seconds.
So again, you have the power to pass a resolution. Do any of you have the interest in actually showing that Christians and Jews are going to be treated equally by putting a banner up? Or is this your policy? You had no problem talking to everybody else who came up here.
I'm sorry, your time has expired.
Thank you. All right, so at this time, we will close our public comment portion. And before we move to the consent agenda, are there any items that any member would wish to remove from the consent agenda and discuss individually? Okay, so before we get, I'm sorry, Mr. Clerk?
No, I didn't.
We're going to bring, I'm going to bring it forward. 21. Yeah, we're not going to pull it. What we're doing is just, before we go with the offer and support.
We can't have discussion on the consent agenda.
Okay, that's, our city attorney, is that correct?
I think you can offer public comment on the consent agenda generally, but there can't be debate on the consent agenda from the council people. So
Yeah, I asked that before the meeting. That's why I wanted to make sure. So your distinction is, that's what I understood. Public speak, but if we want to debate it, then we have to pull it, but they can speak
We
on it.
can't comment on the public's comment.
No, we can comment. We just can't deliberate regarding
I
the
don't
res-
think that's true.
Well, he's the attorney. Mr. Fisher?
So you can offer public comment on the consent agenda at any time. Any member of the public can. In terms of whether you can respond to the public comment or not without it qualifying as debate, that's sort of a more nuanced question, but I would argue that you could.
Yes.
If there's going to be a controversy such that it requires further discussion between council people, or that it requires a vote because someone has changed their mind and wants to vote no, then I would recommend
I'll
removing it
just
from the
clean this
consent
up and
agenda.
I'll ask that 21 be removed from the consent agenda.
Okay, so 21 shall be removed from the consent agenda. Okay, so at this time, we need, any other members would like to remove any other item? Okay, so do we have an offer? Offer by Councilman Hammoud. Support by Councilman El Swafi. Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember O'Reilly?
Yes.
Councilmember Enos?
Yes.
Councilmember Paris?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammoud?
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi?
Yes.
Council President Sereni?
Yes.
7 yeas, the resolution passes.
All right, Mr. Clerk, can we go to the next item?
Next item will be item number 21, resolution by council members Enos and Paris authorizing the additional expenditure to McCarthy and Smith and MCD Architects in the amount of $11,669,215 for Phase 3 of the Esper and Bryant Branch Libraries renovation project.
All right, Mr. Clerk, just a moment there. All right, so this is the renovation on Esper and Bryant Branch Libraries, a multi-phase design with several extra architectural design to modernize both of our units. This is asked for both Esper and Bryant Libraries, $11,669,215 for Phase 3 of this project. The cost is also includes a 5% contingency fee, and the contract shall result on a binding until fully executed by the council. Are any questions by my colleagues before I open it up to the members of the public? Okay, so we're going to go with Mr. Smith, Will Smith. Just a kind reminder, yep, sir, your name, address, or city of residency, and then just kind of remind you have a 3-minute limitation, and our clerk will let you know when there's 30 seconds remaining.
Of course, thank you. My name is Will Smith. I am from Westland, Michigan. I worked in multiple libraries across the state of Michigan, and I have contributed a lot of anthropological projects to National Historic Sites, the National Park Service, and other projects. When I read the agenda tonight, I saw the number, right? And of course, we've talked about the number. Everyone has talked about the numbers here to make this work, but it is upsetting that the numbers being prioritized over the people. When I think of quotes that, get me through the day, and when I think of quotes that think of what I do with my life, I always think of great achievement requires great sacrifice. It's true. You can't have anything great without sacrificing anything great. And in my personal opinion, representing myself, I think it is wrong that we are, personally sacrificing the part-time, even if it's temporary, right? Especially in this economy. The Esper branch has been closed for quite some time now. I don't know if any construction has been done on the branch, but I do fear that this may happen with the Bryant branch and its eventual closure and continued prolonged closure of the Esper branch. And so I think, and although it sounds like the council's resolute in its decision, and I know that these projects will be great for the city, I do think it is concerning that the great sacrifice for the great achievement that we're going to make are some of our community members. And I mean this genuinely. I really hope that these projects are great. I hope that they do revitalize these parts of the community. I'm just concerned about the way that it's being done. And so I appreciate the time to talk in a public forum, and I appreciate all the hard work that you do that go into the city. A lot of things, especially with government, kind of people don't see. They don't see it on a day-to-day basis. So once again, thank you for the time, but I do hope you consider if there is time to consider.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Abigail Smith.
Hello, council members. My name is Abigail Smith. I'm also from Westland, Michigan, and I am also an employee at the Dearborn Public Library. That is why I am here today. I had something originally written, but admittedly I'm going very off script, so please be patient with me, because I want to make sure a few things are incredibly clear and that we're all on the same page here. Just to clarify, you did confirm earlier, yes, that it is 40 part-time staff who are being laid off for approximately 6 months or however long it takes to complete these renovations. Is that correct?
I think just
Mayor,
the
yeah, I believe that's
timeline I
correct.
would say is the estimated construction completion is, end of spring timeline. So I think it's a little bit longer than 6 months.
So longer than 6 months, and it is 40 part-timers. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I would like to make a few points. One is that is longer than that these people will be granted unemployment, so they will be forced to find other work. It is wonderful that you will be welcoming them back when we reopen. I cannot imagine that anybody will be able to wait that long and be made unemployed. Secondarily, I would really like to correct the fact that you keep saying that all of the full-time staff from the branches will be coming over. That is 3 people between the 2 branches. There are 3 full-time staff, one of whom is already at Henry Ford Centennial Library, the Esper librarian. So realistically, for these 40 part-timers lost, there will be 2 full-timers coming in to replace them, and I cannot imagine that that is equivalent in the slightest. I understand that our director, Patty, is very confident that we will be able to continue as normal. I hope that the turnout and the amount of people speaking here tonight shows you that that confidence is not shared. We will not have more people than before, and to our best efforts. And I say that personally, that we will put our best efforts to serve our community. Despite them, I do not feel confident that we will be able to continue to provide the community with good service on such short staff, even temporarily. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate the insight. Next, we have Megan.
Hello, my name is Megan Straffic. I am a resident of Dearborn. I live on Edna Street. I am also one of the part-time employees of the Dearborn Public Library that is set to be laid off. My colleagues have said it very well, but I just want to tell you what our 40 part-time employees, I believe 36 of whom are stationed at Henry Ford Centennial Library and will be laid off. It's a massive reduction in staff, do on a daily basis. So our custodial staff cleans our building, and this includes frequent sanitization of shared bathrooms, computers, tables, and chairs. Our security team maintains order and decorum in the library, manages our meeting rooms and study spaces, enforces our no smoking and no vaping laws, ensures the safety of all staff, especially with regard to members of the public. They provide focused assistance to our most vulnerable patrons, including access to wheelchairs, other mobility aids, and providing information about resources in the broader community. Our pages shelve the materials, pull and prepare holds, provide customer service, check materials in and out, keep the collections organized and inventoried, staff the copy center, help with printing, faxing, internet usage, and they monitor the condition of the materials. Our OS1s and OS3s, I myself am an OS3 in the youth department, provide broad office support. They sit on library committees and contribute to the tasks identified by those committees. They create promotional materials. I myself am one of 2 team members that produce our quarterly program guide, which is a month-long undertaking every single quarter. We go to outreach events in the community, maintain our notice boards, run library programs for patrons. I myself offer an SAT prep course and several creative writing classes in our community. I have a master's of education from Boston College. You are getting a huge value when I provide these courses as part of my part-time work to the libraries. Our OS3s run circulations reports, manage cash drawers and payments, materials, etc.
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you. I can't even get through the number of tasks that our part-time employees complete on a daily basis so that our MLIS holders, our full-time librarians, can focus on their incredibly specialized work, including our program and our materials acquisition, among every other thing that they do. We keep the machine running so that they can keep the public happy, but we also keep the public happy.
I'm sorry, your time has expired.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that. Okay, next we have Asher Andrews.
Hello, my name is Asher Andrews. I live on Elizabeth Street in Dearborn, Michigan. I am also a part-time worker at Dearborn Public Library, the Centennial Branch. I am a page, which Megan listed off everything I do and everything I was going to list off. So I'm just going to say that I understand, I emailed council members about this and they said that the closures were related exclusively to, or it was worded as if it was related exclusively to the branch closures. With both branches closed, all of Dearborn and any non-residents that visit, of which there are quite a few, would be only exclusively heading to the Henry Ford Centennial Library. When you cut 80% of the staff, when you lay off 40 people, I cannot imagine how any services would stay the same. I cannot imagine that there would not be a great reduction in quality and quantity of service. I brought a program with me. This is just 1 month. This is 21 items over the course of the month, and that is just in the youth. There are also many programs in the adult over the course of the month. I cannot imagine that with these youth and adult workers doing the jobs of the part-timers on top of their own things, that they would be able to provide the quantity and quality that is provided here. I cannot imagine that there would be so much. Without security and without janitors and without all of the people doing the grunt work, the people with degrees like Megan that worked so hard, like my boss, Will, that spoke, I cannot imagine that they would be able to provide quantity and quality. I cannot imagine that they would be happy either. And when people are unhappy with what they're doing, they will provide a worse service and it will reflect poorly on the public. The public will be able to tell. I am asking to oppose all of this budget. Furthermore, I'm asking if there are jobs available to relocate library staff, why can those open jobs not have their budget reallocated instead? Why does the library have to be punished when it is the only thing that will be open? Why do the part-timers working there have to be laid off when they would be the only ones providing service for the, like, however many people visit the library on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Mr. Avery Andrews. Or is that Miss? I'm sorry.
So my name is Avery Andrews, and I also live on Elizabeth Street in Dearborn. And I just wanted to say, we live in a time where it is increasingly important to stay informed, and it would be most beneficial for our city and society as a whole to keep information safely and reliably accessible to everyone in the community. But if the staff is cut at our only open library, the Henry Ford Centennial Library, the library can no longer provide this service. Without the security staff, the library can no longer be a safe place for families to gather. Without the cleaning staff, students will no longer have an organized and sanitary environment to study in. And without the part-time circulation staff and even full-time, information and assistance will not be accessible to the kids and community members who need it most. This is why I oppose the staff cuts to Dearborn libraries, and I urge you as the City Council to act in the best interests of our community and reestablish the proper staffing to our only open library. And I wanted to say on top of this that for all the part-time workers being laid off right now, as a community member, I love the library and I appreciate that everything that we are doing right now, and I hope that our library can be restored to its full capacity in the future if this does pass. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Andrews. All right, at this time, okay, at this time, do you have any more comment cards, Mr. Clerk? Okay, Councilman Hammoud?
Yeah, so I guess I'm wondering if I see the library commission is here and I see the library department head is here. I'd like to understand from either one of you, so was this plan put in front of the library commission?
Hi, Patty Podzakowski, Interim Director. Yes, this plan was put before the commission.
And it was approved?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess one thing that I just want residents at home as well to understand, in the city of Dearborn, we have a library commission, and the library generally operates fairly independently of the city government itself. Now, we do give a thumbs up or thumbs down on their expenditures, but generally, the reason we have a library commission and the reason we have a semi-independent library board is that we believe that they're doing what's in the best interest of the library as an organization, and we typically don't get involved in line iteming their budget, which would be a whole different budget process, and I encourage everybody who's here today as well to go participate in our very long and exhaustive budget sessions that we just finished conducting.
Not that bad.
Luckily, this year was not that bad.
We had food this year a couple
Yeah.
times.
But my point being that, you know, if this was going to be an impact on residents or on services, I would expect at bare minimum that I'd hear from the library director or from the commissioners, whom I have not heard any issues from. And I have the director here telling me that earlier in the meeting, full well, that you do believe that your staff is going to be able to cover your existing services and not cut any services. Is that correct?
I do believe that. In theory, when it comes to practice, you know, we're going to see what happens. But with all the full-time people that we have, they will be doing all those duties that people listed.
And then are you going to have custodial staff?
We will have custodial staff.
And are you going to
still.
have security staff?
No, it was not a plan to keep the security staff.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Just on that note, though, it is very normal to not have security staff at libraries. I take
Correct.
my children to Redford Township Library. I've been for Redford Township. I've been to the children's floor. And I think at some point, you know, there's many a research out there talking about security also being off-putting to various communities. And so I'm not here to hang up on whether we have one or two security staff shushing people on a main floor. I'm all for ensuring that our employees are protected and safe, and we have that environment. We have parks and walks that we can do. We have police officers right next door. And so I just want to be very clear about that.
Correct. We also offer a lot of safety and security training to our staff, and we'll be offering more for our full-time so that they can feel more comfortable. There will be,
No, Mayor, we understand.
yeah, so there will be a custodian, like I said. I understand the emotions are high, I get that, but I do believe that the full-time staff can manage temporarily.
Right.
There will be, it'll be tough. I'm not going to say it's not going to be. Full-time staff will have to take on more responsibilities, but I don't think it's anything that's too cumbersome for them.
But also, all right, but also, Director, Councilman Hammoud, I apologize, I will let you continue your line of questioning, but just for a point myself, if you don't mind. Director, this council has not line itemed your budget. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the Director Kennedy is here and has already indicated that we have not cut those positions out of your budget.
Correct.
So if you feel at any time that you need to add some more people, do you have to come in front of this board for an allocation?
No.
That's correct. The answer is no. You can say
Right.
it.
Okay, no.
Okay. So what that means is that we're giving you the flexibility to go ahead and do that. So the budget is there for the people as needed to
Yes.
bring, to make sure. I can tell you publicly, and I'm sure you understand that, and I know Commission, I've been there. I'm in full support of the libraries, and I myself won't tolerate any reduction in service. We can't. So that's for sure. So, but that's under your direction, right? I challenged previous library directors to find $40,000 and $4 million of salaries to cut, and they couldn't find $40,000 and $4 million. And that's why we made changes, okay? So we expect you, as the interim and the knowledge that you have, that you quickly and swiftly make sure that we are adequately servicing our residents.
Oh,
And I'm
yes.
sure you will.
I will be monitoring
I'm
it
sure you
very
will.
closely.
And you do not have to come back to the council for that appropriation. The money is in your purview to
Okay.
use if you need. So I just want to make sure that was clarified.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Hammoud, I apologize if you had to continue.
Yeah, I think essentially you got to the point of my line of questioning.
Okay, sorry about that.
Essentially, the heads are still allocated. The director can do as they see fit. And I think what I would want to know is, as we go through the renovations, if people feel that there are issues or services, then bring them to us. I mean, we can only do as much as the administration and the library administration, in this case, wants to do. So we look forward to continuing to hear how things go, and hopefully there will be a better library out at the end of this. But I do understand and empathize, especially the way that the economy and costs are higher on everybody right now, that yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, and it is always a tough situation and a tough vote when you have to, essentially harm people in the way of trying to serve the greater community. So I do recognize and empathize with the people that are affected. However, it's not directly in our power to go force them to allocate a budget, especially when it's essentially a semi-independent board in the city. So thank you, Director.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody who kind of spoke on the topic as well.
All right, and thank you. Okay, hang on a second. Hang on a second, sir. We don't allow yelling in the room. Okay, come to the comment cards are next to you, sir. No, I brought one up. Okay, you might have not put your name. Come up and see the clerk, and we'll get it corrected for you. But if you didn't put your name on it, I said that earlier, I can't read a name that's not on the card. All right, before we go forward on this, we're going to pause while we're checking that. What I do want to say to the residents out there and the people that have showed up today, I can tell you your comments are really well taken. Some of the points that were made by some of the individuals there regarding the staffing numbers, and more importantly, I think too, the shed the light on the fact that the renovations may exceed their unemployment aspect. Very, very valid, rational, and logical points that should be considered. So I think they're well warranted and well taken. What I can say is that the power is left in the director's hand, that the council has historically did not do budgets in the way that we do, and not line item and hamstring our directors to allow them the free ability to operate. But I can tell you that your voices are heard. Of course, a Dearborn resident myself, we do frequent there. I was there all the time, so we will be expecting that the services do not decrease and that we keep up with as we can. And I'm sure you have full faith in that. But I can tell everybody it's great to see the democracy, real democracy, being happening, where you have your leaders up here understanding where you're coming from and explaining that we are influencing, a tremendous amount of your dollars into these libraries to make sure that they can better serve you, just like we did under the first administration of our Mayor Abdullah Hammoud with our park renovations. We're tackling issues that have been not addressed for many, many, many years, and trying to do the best we can. But I can tell you, I love the passion. It means a lot, and all I can say is that there's valid points. And to the director, I could say there is a tremendous value in a lot of the part-time employees, and I'm sure you're aware there's many people that have more education than anybody sitting up here, and have a lot that they offer. I do agree with those points, but it's in your prerogative to see who should be first to get back or who should be needed if you see that there's strains. And I have full confidence in you. I mean, I think that you've done a tremendous job. It is stressful.
Thank you.
And the library is a lot of work. I mean, I was here when the council received an email letting us know that somebody was kicked out for loud talking, and that was 12, 14 years ago. That's not the libraries of today.
No.
And I'm glad that things are renovating and going in the right way. And I don't know if we had any pictures on all the library renovations, but if they're anything like the photos, the place is going to be tremendous.
Yeah.
And Mayor Hammoud, regarding what you brought through on the parks and those investments and our playscapes, I don't see any reason why they won't match. We have been very fortunate with our leadership and the mayor and his administration and diligently working on getting execution at the end. Because being up here for so many years, when you allocate funds, they still got to be managed. The projects have to be managed. And I've seen many projects that were not done as specified. And I have not seen that over the last 4 or 5 years. I think that I have seen bids that we have allocated that the mayor has went back, such as the trash company, and said, we're not paying you until you do this. And we have done things that are not historically governmentally traditional, but have gotten our taxpayers what they have bargained for. And I have great support and admiration that this will continue, and we will definitely keep an eye on it. The libraries are, the city of Dearborn will not be the city that it is if it's not with our library system. So hopefully we will continue to go forward with it. But I just want to make sure that everybody knows, absolutely, Mayor, that your questions are not, your comments are not going on deaf ears. And there are some very valid points, and I do believe wholeheartedly, somebody who runs an operation, myself in my public life, that there is a tremendous value that some people bring, and too, with retirees and the amount of things that they bring in a part-time capacity. You can't pay people full-time to do what they do. So I do agree with that sentiment and look forward to your leadership, and hopefully we keep everything going well.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Appreciate
Actually,
it.
I was going to say, I think there's a person in the crowd that had a card, so I want them to go first, because I know.
Yeah, we got it. We got it,
Okay,
Mayor.
let
Yep.
them go. I'm sorry. I'll speak after.
Okay, you want to wait, Mayor?
Yeah.
All right, Director, you can, but stay here in the front row in case we got to call you back. You're walking really far back and forth. All right, so this was one, I think, without a name. So Mr., is that Tipton?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Apologies, I'm dyslexic. I must have missed it.
No, that's okay. I just
my
don't want
name's-
you to think, I mentioned it too if you wrote a card without your name, but I
Sure,
just want you to think
understand.
we're ignoring you.
No,
Just your name.
understood.
Yeah, your name and address.
Nathan Tipton, 3546 Williams Street. I have a concern. My wife is a librarian at the Centennial.
Okay.
And just in the last month, I've heard stories like, people coming to the library, peeing themselves, pulling their genitals out, harassing employees and other library goers. I'm confused that it's going to be the job of the librarians to take care of those issues. Seems like a job for security, and if security's already there, seems like they should stay there to take care of those issues. I wouldn't want my wife to have to deal with her own issues of sexual harassment from a library patron. I don't think that's fair to her. I don't think that's fair to anyone else working there.
It's a
Wholeheartedly
very,
agree.
very fair point. Mayor, do you want to
Yeah,
address?
I'll just make my general remarks to the point about public safety. I wholeheartedly agree. And so I think here's what I'll speak to at a high level. I respect the library institution, understanding that it's a third space in the city, and it doesn't function without each and every single one of you. I believe that. When it comes to the funding, because I think there's a little bit more details that aren't shared, to execute these two projects, why Esper was slightly delayed in order for us to get Bryant off the ground was the fact that we relocated Dearborn Chamber, we secured additional grant funding to execute both projects at the same time, to achieve the economies of scale on construction, to make it possible. The reality was Esper foot traffic was down and Bryant foot traffic had been kind of stagnant over time. And we're trying to revamp them to match what's been happening across the region, across the country, to bring back that foot traffic to ensure the longevity for years to come. How do we do this? We got grant funding. This council, God willing, when they vote on the budget, is agreeing to raise the library millage to the full 1 millage that the city can levy, which hasn't been done in I'm not sure how many years. We also took the fund balance down. Traditionally, a fund balance has to have about 3 months worth of operating expenses. It's down to about a month, if not slightly less. And so I'll speak to it publicly, that doesn't mean much for those who feel like they're losing their jobs in this temporary period. You know, and I'll tell Patty, I'll be the first to say, evaluate this on a rolling basis. If we have to dip more into the fund balance to add a few additional slots without jeopardizing a cushion for the libraries, God willing, if something were to happen from the state and revenue sharing, go for it. If there's a few more slots that have to be added for whatever purposes, go for it. But we also have to ensure that we have the fiduciary responsibility that if revenue gets cut from the state, God willing, something happens here, the library millage doesn't pass. We have so much that's before us this August. And so we've already taken the fund balance from 3 months down to less than 1 month, pushing this council to add the full millage to execute both of these projects as quickly as possible to bring back full operations and a full budget. And so that's why we never eliminated the positions out of the budget. They're actually sustained in there. And so I did want to say that. And so, but at least from my point, I'll express it to Patty again and to the Library Commission. If we need to dip further to add a few additional slots to ensure whatever, you guys evaluate it, I'm supportive up to the critical point that Corey and Michael are going to say you can't surpass this line, understanding what we jeopardizing the entirety of the institution.
Thank you, Mayor. I hope that answers Mr. Tipton. In regards to safety and security, I think the mayor answered for you too, but I can tell you myself, being the president of the council, it wasn't too many months ago that there was 2 gentlemen with armed weapons on either side of my, I don't know if you watched the meeting, I was like looking both sides on either side of this chamber. So security is definitely a concern, but I do want to make sure that you understand we have one of the best response times for police department in the state of Michigan, and we allocate over $55 million for them. So we have a highest staffing level than we've had in, Mayor, I don't know how many years.
I mean, it's a record staffing level, but to emphasize your point, your wife should not be in a position where she has to feel like she has to fend for herself if somebody were going to harass her.
But she is.
Absolutely.
But she is.
You're saying
Without security staff.
You're foreshadowing. I understand that, and so I'll task Patty, obviously as the leader of the operations, to ensure that that is not the case.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Tipton. Appreciate that. Director, yes.
Director. At a public library, of course, any public venue, people can come in, and there are instances where we have to deal with that. But even with the security we have, it is not fully covered. So anything can happen at any time. It could, anything. It could be our security guard has gone for the day and we have a gap and somebody comes in and the full-time staff would have to deal with it at that point.
Right.
So even with guards, there's no guarantee that something is not going to happen.
That's fair. All right. Anyone else here? Do we have all the cards completed? All right. Any other comments by my colleagues on item 21? Councilman Paris.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to ask, just to have kind of a chronological order, when did this first come about that the library director or interim director, Patty, I don't know if you might address this question
Well,
that I have.
ask the question, Councilman, and we'll have her come up.
If chronologically and so on, when did we first inform the part-time employees that this may come about, that some of their positions may be in jeopardy? How long ago?
Patty Podzakowski, interim library director. This just came about and was announced to staff late last week.
Late last week, because it's my understanding that some employees then received letters just recently, maybe to get ahead of what's going on. People got letters at home.
No, there's supposed to be letters released from HR. I've been working with HR directly and the other city admin to get that information out to
Okay.
employees.
Right, right.
Yeah, effective July 1st, but I'm trying to get an idea how long it was communicated to these part-time employees that have their jobs in jeopardy that that is going to take place, and then by July 1st. So you're indicating how long ago did this start getting information out officially?
Officially, I emailed them, I think, Friday night until Saturday.
Okay. All right, we're not going to have outbursts, Councilman.
Okay,
To make, I know, you want, when you make a question, now we have to clarify it. Okay, this is what happens. The budget hasn't been adopted yet.
That's why I was waiting for.
No, when you say, what's that mean? You understand that?
No, I understand
Okay,
it,
so
yeah.
they can't notify this because the budget hasn't been adopted. They
Okay.
told are you sure, you understand that? Because
Yes,
what you're
I do
doing is you're
understand.
asking as if it's a gotcha thing. It's not a gotcha. There's no, the adoption
Where do you get
hasn't
that
been
that
had.
it's a gotcha? I'm
Because
just
you're
asking
asking
a
how long,
question.
you're asking when you know good and well that the adoption hasn't taken place. We haven't adopted the budget. There is no logical or legal. Mr. Fisher, can the HR department indicate that there's layoffs when the budget adoption has not been occurred by the budget, by the city council?
If the layoffs are contingent on the budget, then it would be irresponsible for them to indicate layoffs before the budget's been adopted.
It would be irresponsible?
Correct.
Okay.
And
I
the
would argue
reason-
that it would be illegal too, because it's not been adjudicated, it's not been done by the council. So I just want to make that clear. They cannot do that. They're anticipating that budget adoption is not occurred.
Okay, that's bringing up the question when they were notified about this, because even obviously until just within the last couple days did I even know about the part-timers were going to be laid off. I know what's in the budget documents that we had Thursday. I know about the presentations that we've had, but I'm just trying to clarify it in my own mind so I understand what's going on administratively with the library commission, you know, their role in this, and then obviously what the part-time employees have to say. That's all I'm trying to
Right, but we,
chronologically
I
understand.
I understand, but
So-
I just want to make sure that the residents now understand that the HR department and the city attorney has already weighed in that cannot, that budget has not been adopted, so it's not
Okay.
been completed.
So
And then,
I
hang on,
would-
let me finish because you opened up another can of worms. The budget that you're adopting has the budget of the people in there, okay? And they're
Right.
funded, which you've been here a few years now, so you understand
Right.
that.
I do understand
That means
that.
that we do not have the ability to hire or remove staff or add staff. Is that correct, Mr. Fisher? Can you explain to the councilman the role of the council regarding budgetary and if we have the ability to administrate? Because the charter is crystal clear on that aspect.
Correct. The council's role is budgetary in this aspect, that it's not to actually conduct the administrative role of removing staff.
Okay. I'm only asking these questions, Council President, to have a full understanding myself, not only what the library staff and director and the commission are dealing with, but also to understand where the part-time employees are coming from. No more, no less.
Yep.
I didn't need words put into my mouth or
There's
get a
no
legal
words put
opinion.
in your mouth. You're more than aware
But
of the
then, you know what,
commission,
Council President, you
commission- hang on.
continue to
I'm
go
gonna-
ahead and interrupt me,
You're making
and there's no
comments.
reason
When you make
for
a
it.
comment, I'm going to
You're
address
making
it.
the
When you
comments
make-
too.
Okay, you
You
like
know,
to finish?
okay,
You made a
I
comment, you
finished.
didn't know where the
I
library
finished.
commission was.
I am
You know where
finished
the
with the
planning
comments.
commission
Thank
is.
you.
You know where the library, you know where the.
That's not fair.
You know, it's
That isn't fair.
perfectly fair. You're the only council person to attend one of those meetings, so you know when the meetings are.
Then
The
why don't we
library
go
commission
ahead and put
meeting,
it
you
out in
should
the
go to
open? I
meeting.
brought forward to go to the
Because
planning
here's the
commission and have it
reason why.
televised.
Right.
And I didn't have any support
By
from my
who?
colleagues, $2,000 in the budget
Right.
to be able to have a public meeting. You want to go there?
Yeah, you can
want
go
to
there.
keep on
Absolutely.
going? I don't need
Absolutely.
to.
So now we'll address
So,
that.
thank you.
We'll address that, Mr. Paris, so you understand. The way democracy works in this country is you have to have somebody support you. Just
That's
because you
absolutely
have an
true.
idea. Let me finish.
Why?
Then
You
I'll
don't let me finish?
I will. You had stopped. So let's talk about it since you're going to bring it up. You could have went to the library commission, you chose not to, okay? You didn't do that, but you went to all the other commission meetings. That's number one. Number two,
Not true.
you're trying to administer, okay, let me finish and I'll let you finish, okay? No, we're gonna make sure, because I gotta end this. This is absolute ridiculous, okay? When one member, just so people understand, when you get elected and you have a great idea that you think's a great idea, and no one else agrees with you, then there's a problem. Either you have an idea that's so far ahead advanced that other people can't comprehend, or it's not that great of an idea. You brought forward a budgetary request previously under the last budget, improper. I advised you how to properly bring it forward. You brought it properly forward this budgetary. I commended you for bringing it properly forward. You had no support. Then you also had the Legal Corporation Council indicate to you the legal precedent and what could happen and what litigation you can pose to the city when you do what you're asking to do. And out of 7 people, you had 0 people support you on it. So I want to make that clear regarding your televising the aspect. So you can now answer and say what you'd like to say, Mr. Paris.
Well, I'm not the person that brought that up. That was not even a matter of what we were speaking about or I was speaking about to begin with. You're the one, from your purview as a council president, bringing it forward, something that I did or I opted to do and made a request to do for the budget that I didn't have any support on. I mean, there was absolutely no reason for that even to be brought up. I told you the reasons why I asked the library director this question, so I can have a feeling of what you're dealing with, what your responsibilities were, what the responsibility was from the commission, and then also what the part-time employees are going through and when they were hearing about it, because obviously things leaked out. You know, just a few days ago or whatever, and me finding out about it, and just like the rest of us getting these emails. That's it. But I didn't expect, nor do I respect, the council president having to bring up other aspects about the budget and what another council member either did or didn't do. I believe, quite honestly, you were totally out of line bringing that up. And I apologize that it even got this way. I'm not the one who brought it up.
Well, your
in that
apologies,
manner.
your apologies accepted.
Thank you.
But just so you know that when
I'm
you
done.
make a comment regarding staffing and budgetary, you have to know your role. And your role was to fund the positions. You don't have the ability to execute them. So I want to make that abundantly clear, because as the council president, I have to make sure the residents understand what's being said. And that's what's the truth is, that we funded the positions. And I made that abundantly clear to the director. And the mayor is fully aware, is already saying that he wants them to make sure that they have the flexibility. But more importantly, that's not the council role. And I've been saying that, Mr. Councilman Pierce, to you for about 5 or 6 years, what your role is as a council member and what is not. And unfortunately, you know, that's the way it is. We have a ballot, and you can, you know, people that choose to run for the mayor can run for the mayor. Then you can make those decisions. But we have limited power on what we can do, and I am a stickler for making sure that we follow the rules and not make misstatements and statements that mislead people in the public, because that's why we had all the situation we had in the past and so on and so forth. So I have to continue to clear it up, unfortunately. But we have to make sure that we tell the truth and that it's understood and cleared up so it's made to understand. All right, anyone else, Director? Anyone else from my colleagues on item 21? All right, thank you, Director. Mr. Clerk, let's have a roll call vote.
Okay, we're going to start with Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammoud.
Yes.
Councilmember Al-Swafi.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Reilly.
Yes.
7 yeas, the resolution passes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Okay, we're going to go now to item number 29, resolution by council members Enos and O'Reilly, approving the minutes of the previous regular meeting of April 28th, 2026.
Okay, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to the minutes? Okay, any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 30, resolution by council members Paris and Enos approving the minutes of the previous special open meeting of April 30th, 2026.
Okay, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to those minutes? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 31, resolution by council members Enos and O'Reilly approving the minutes of the previous special open meeting of May 6, 2026.
Okay, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to these minutes? All right, any objection to the unanimous roll? Unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 32 is an ordinance number 26-1866, introduced by council member Enos. Synopsis: an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Dearborn by amending Article 1.00 entitled Short Title Rules of Construction and Definitions, Article 7.00 entitled Site Development Standards applicable to specific uses, Article 18 entitled 1A Light Industrial District, Article 19.00 entitled 1B Medium Industrial District, Article 20 entitled 1C Intensive Industrial District, and Article 21 entitled 1D General Industrial District. Resolution by council members Paris and O'Reilly to table the ordinance.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. A moratorium on junkyard, scrap iron, and junk storage, metal recycling facilities, recycling centers, and other associated uses is set to expire on June 10th of this year. The current city zoning needed to be updated to address the overlapping inconsistencies and regulations for certain categories of uses, as well as the lack of design standards, of such uses. The summary of the changes are definitions have been added to clarify the differences between similar uses such as salvage yards, processing, collection facilities, and landfills. The existing definitions for junkyards and salvage yards have been updated to eliminate any confusion regarding the classification of these uses. The site development standards for junkyards and salvage yards have also been updated to address environmental issues and public safety concerns related to potential risks and fires, depending on the types of materials being stored. The use of a list of industrial districts as well has been revised so that similar uses in nature, operations, or potential negative externalities are permitted in appropriate zone districts. The Planning Commission recommend approval on this ordinance on April 13th meeting. The Planning and Zoning Division also recommends approval to the Planning Commission as well. This is the first of two readings, and now we have our director here, Deputy Director of the building, and we have Masara?
Yes.
Okay.
Bianchini, Deputy Director of Economic Development. I also have with me Masara Zwayan. Masara, please feel free to introduce yourself.
Good evening. Masara Zwayan, Planning and Zoning Manager.
And so we'll be working together on this. As you guys know, Masara is my backfill as I'm transitioning into this new role.
Yes.
So appreciate her being here to talk about it. So I'm happy to give a high-level overview. I know some of the council members weren't at the mayor's briefing, if we need to go into it.
Right. Yeah, I think we'll leave it to see if there's any questions, but high level, I know that we had discussions and differences on scrap yards or junkyards, recycling center, and I know that the mayor has been very been very pointed regarding the situations. We also had several fires.
Yes.
We've had one of our businesses shut down by the city and ceased operations, so we take it very seriously, but we also have to make sure the rules are solid. And you know, as our conversations, whether, you know, if it says, you know, we write the ordinance, right? You guys support it. So if the ordinance says automobiles and so on and so forth, that's what we expect to be happen, and that's considered a junkyard. Because I know me and you had a disagreement on that, and you indicated, and I don't want to put words, but just an example that the zoning department or division can interpret it as a more restrictive use. So hopefully that won't have to happen, because we have to have an expectation. And that's the concern, Masar, so you know, is that the old theory was, well, if they want, they can come and talk to us. That's not how business works. That's why the state is trying to take charge right now on zoning restrictions regarding properties, because the municipalities have too many, as I indicated, the MEDC back 12, 14 years ago when I started gave us a yellow light saying that we need a minimum of 3 variances for anything. So for me, this is good, because we have to have an expectation that people can look at and say, okay, I'm going to have this, this, and this in my business, so therefore I qualify for this. And it's not anybody's fault. It's, for example, we talked about, we have still in our codes, you know, cigarette vending machines, right? We have a situation where a place is doing trampoline and a new type of use that we don't have, so we put it in, pigeonholed it in a pool hall, which, I mean, I like pool, but there's, you know, that's been, you know, changed a lot, right? So we're trying to modernize these. I'm all for having clear of clarification. I don't like, the fact that it's so interpretive because it's subjective. And me and you had that question, where I said, this says this, the other one says the exact same thing, but says auto parts. To me, if there's no auto parts, then it's not a junkyard. It's very clear. And I think even legally that could be determined that way. But again, I want to thank you guys for this work, because this is what I've been asking for. We are part-time legislators. We try to do the best we can, and usually, unfortunately, we have to react to a scenario like our excellent Director Hawkins brought forward to me before, when he was in your Jordan Tordy's position, saying you can't put a side door on a house if it's facing a certain way. And we're like, that doesn't make any sense. What if the guy's house is on the corner? And nobody thought of that. I know it sounds crazy, but he brought it immediately through for us to correct it. And the homeowner could put a side entry door on his house lawfully and legally. And as I said many, many times, right? When we have people breaking the rules so many, a lot of times it might be that we got the rules outdated, right? It wasn't too long ago that we found out that why did we have nobody apply for a job? It's because we had a restriction asking for a state license that didn't exist. That happened. You can't make this up. Okay? And now, so we have to be diligent in this. So I can't thank you enough, because you guys see the day-to-day. You know the trends. You know the master plan. You know which way we're going and what we're trying to achieve, right? And we want to make sure that these businesses can thrive, but also know what their expectations is. If you have a pile this high, you have to have a sprinkler. You have to have this. Our chief talked about it before. We had some massive fires that caused some major problems. And folks, to our residents, to shut down a business is not easy. They have just as many lawyers. I don't think they have better lawyers than ours.
Definitely
not. Definitely not. But they have a lot of lawyers as well. And these businesses challenged and were unsuccessful because of the good ordinance writing and the consistency of the administration and you guys. So I can tell you, I know this is a long time coming, and you can't fix everything at once. And it does take time. And I think we're getting there. I think we challenged the most crucial things in the beginning with the zoning, as far as the homes and the residents and what you count and so on and so forth. So I know this is a great step. And to defer to the dean of our council here, we never can get it right all the time on the first time. I do admit, I always try to get it right the first time. Maybe that's to my fault. But
so do we, Council President.
You do.
We try our best.
But to the more experienced, at some point you do say, you know what, we're going to give it the best shot we can. And when we hear from our residents and we hear from yourself that we could tweak something like we did recently, right? We've made these changes on other parts of the ordinances to make sure it's clarified for a resident. Because if a resident has to go to 5 different codes to figure it out, that's a recipe for disaster. So as far as going over it, this is the first reading. I want to leave to my council if they have any questions regarding it, but I can't thank you enough for both being here, and hopefully you'll be here for the next reading, because I'm sure there'll be some questions. Councilman Abraham.
So it's called progress, not perfection.
Oh, okay, there you go, got it. There you go.
It's a lesson. Move forward.
Got it.
I just have a question on the timing, I guess. As this is first reading, presuming we have second reading at our June meeting, which will be June 9th, and the moratorium expires on June 10th. That means the moratorium will expire before the earliest possible date of the effective ordinance changes.
Yes.
So is there a companion piece to this to extend the moratorium till after this new ordinance can be effective?
We could. So we have not prepared that, but
We can also, thank you, but let me just answer that. And Mr. Fisher, if you can just chime in. Councilman Abraham, you're dead on, but there's also, as we've done in the past, an ability, because we do have some other meetings scheduled, there is not a requirement for the first reading, second reading to have a certain time limit. Is that correct, Mr. Fisher? Because we have done that in the past.
In terms of?
In terms of, we currently, the question is, we either have to do 2 things, in my opinion, and Councilman Abraham, if you feel differently, please let me know, is that we either have to extend the moratorium so that we don't have a loophole or donut hole, or we have some other meetings that we're having is to bring the second reading closer forward. In my opinion, is that you can do that. We've done that in the past, so that's my question.
In terms of, we could have a second reading at a special meeting?
Correct, and
Yes.
and there's not a duration legally requirement of time in between.
Correct.
So that can help that too, Councilman. So Jackie, make sure you note that. It's a very valid point, because I'd rather not extend the moratorium myself personally, I don't, Councilman Abraham, I don't know how you feel, but I know what you're saying. You're trying to make it right, and I'm with you, but I don't
One
want
way
to,
or
I
the
don't want
other,
to
I
extend
just
it.
don't want to see a gap
Right.
where we fall back, the moratorium expires, and we fall back to the old ordinance.
I agree completely, so I will make sure that our staff calendars it.
There's
unless
smarter people than me that'll figure out that.
That's right. So we will, and then if you don't mind, you can get with Jackie and see, but we will get, so I request that you do get with the council executive, so she can go ahead and schedule prior to that meeting, so there is no lapse.
Absolutely.
And then
Thank
make
you,
sure,
It would
Jackie,
have
you
to be
take,
in May.
yeah, it might, no, it would have to be in May?
Yes,
Yeah, well, we
'cause
do have a
it's
few
10
meetings.
days.
Yeah.
It's 10
Right.
days for the ordinance to take effect after it's adopted.
Right,
You can't, it's 10 days for ordinance.
yeah, the ordinance. So 10 days,
So it would have to be May, which leaves us next week.
Yep. So, so let's direct this to Mr. Fisher. Can you give us the time frame that we would need, barring waiver of veto and by the mayor, as well as the statutory requirement, so that we could get a date before? Because I prefer not, and I agree. Yeah, and we have done that before, Mr. Fisher. We have done one, and then the next day have done the second reading. So let's, yeah. So
Well,
we'll have
to
him
post it.
Yeah, we'll have to notice it. So that's why. I know, but, all right, hang on. Let's try to keep this meeting orderly. I have tasked the legal department to give us the correct time frame. We will look at it, and I will schedule it appropriately with support from one of the members. But Councilman Abraham, your point is well taken, and I think that achieves what you're looking for, right? One way or the other. So that, and I prefer not to extend the moratorium. I think it's not the better policy in my opinion. So we'll see at that point, okay?
Thank you, Council.
Any questions from my colleagues on this? All right, excellent. Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
Thank you, Council.
This is the first reading of ordinance 26-1866, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Dearborn by amending Article 1 entitled Short Title Rules and Construction and Definition, Article 7 entitled Site Development Standards applicable to specific uses, Article 18 entitled 1A Light Industrial District, Article 19 entitled 1B Medium Industrial District, Article 20 entitled 1C Intensive Industrial District, and Article 21 entitled 1D General Industrial District.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Again, is there any other questions or comments or any objection to unanimous roll on the first reading? Okay, unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 33, ordinance number 26-1867, introduced by Councilmember Enos, synopsis and ordinance to amend the Water and Sewer Chapter, Chapter 19 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 1 entitled In General for rates effective July 1, 2026. Resolution by Council Members Paris and O'Reilly to table the ordinance.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The water and sewer of fiscal year 2027 budget requests, along with the proposed water and sewer rates, were discussed at the City Council meeting April 15, 2026. The proposed 2027 fiscal water and sewer rates continued with the methodology change that was implemented in fiscal year 2023, where 28% of the charges are allocated to fixed rates and 72% variable based on the customer's actual uses of water. A standalone fixed rate for fire line accounts is also in effect and is continued in the same manner. The combined rate increase is approximately 7.5%. This includes $34.9 million of funding going to GLWA, Great Lakes Water Authority. It also includes $3.9 million in water and sewer infrastructure replacements. It includes $4.8 million in debt service, $39.8 million in bond insurance for water and sewer infrastructure work, and combined with poor road reconstruction as well. This maintains an in-house lead service efforts funding at $2 million. That is an unfunded mandate on the lead lines. This is the first of two readings. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on the water and sewer rates? Okay, any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, before that, Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 26-1867, an ordinance to amend the Water and Sewers Chapter, Chapter 19 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 1 entitled In General for rates effective July 1, 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Any questions or comments? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 34, resolution by Council Members Enos and O'Reilly, granting a special use of land to States and Kingdom LLC for the Red Bull Show Run private event to be held July 13th through the 21st, 2026 at 6 Park Lane Boulevard, contingent on payment of fees, final approval of permit application materials, and passing all applicable inspections, also granting a waiver of the City of Dearborn's noise
picture on
ordinance
this?
and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. This is the first time States and Kingdom LLC is applying to bring, on Red Bull Show Run to Dearborn, featuring motorsports demonstrating on a course utilizing Park Lane Boulevard and Executive Drive Boulevard. Council approval is required for this temporary use change. The event will be held on July 13th through the 21st, 2026 this year, contingent on payment of fees, as well as a final approval permit and application materials and passing all applicable inspections. The event is anticipating to approximately bring 40,000 attendees. The applicant is responsible for the permit fee of $230 and the fiscal impact regarding the city of police services, police, fire, and EMS are subject to final event coordination and immediate effect is being requested. Do we have anybody here from this event? Okay. All right, so I apologize for myself. I was not here for the aspect, but I did read into the details. So what do we know about States and Kingdom LLC? Because this is a major event, and we've had a few of these before. I'm not very lenient to allowing these in myself personally, especially if they don't have any ties to our community. What do you have on these? What's going on?
So they are, States and Kings LLC is the marketing firm working with Red Bull. I think everyone here knows Red Bull. They're actually in partnership with Ford for this event. This is something that they've held in other cities across the country. They actually were between holding this in Detroit and holding it in Dearborn, and we felt it was only appropriate for them to come here, birthplace of Ford, to our great city, and so we can reap the benefits of this type of event for our residents.
Well, that's excellent. I didn't see Ford in here in these. I know we're selling bicycles, but we're not selling motorsport bicycles, so maybe that's a
Apologies,
conjunction.
It was in the. I apologize. It was in the support that I sent Jackie earlier today. It was a bit. It was a bit late from them, but they are one of the partners on this event.
All right. Well, I mean, of course, Ford is a huge corporate partner of the city of Dearborn, because I know there was one in the past that another manufacturer, BMW, tried to do, and we did allow that, but I don't think it. Yes. Did that? I don't think they came back for a second year. Am I correct? That's correct. That's correct. And this one is, where is this located? I gave the address, but location-wise,
Park Lane.
which is location vicinity just for the residents.
It's like in the center of the city, near, I think it's like, what is it, near Henry Hotel?
It's near. It's a Butts
The
Ford
Park Lane
property.
Towers. I think it's that Ford and Mercury area.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Mercury Hubbard.
Oh, Mercury and Hubbard. Okay, I got it. So closer to Southfield Freeway. So not in the Fairlane complex or
No,
Kitty Corner
no,
across.
no.
Yeah, because I thought it was closer to Fairlane Mall as well. So it's on the other side.
Yes.
It's where
Okay,
everyone
because
takes
I
their
didn't see.
prom
I
pictures.
I get it. That's why I like for the maps too. But I got it. So Kitty Corner. So this is great. And yes, Red Bull is very reputable and it's good. I didn't know to what extent it was, but I like to make sure. We do have a lot of people solicit the city of Dearborn to do events, and we always make sure, that we get what we bargain for. As you are aware, it's not always the case. So I do appreciate that the fact that this was something that was looks like we wanted to secure. So I'm glad we did. All right, any questions from my colleagues regarding this Red Bull event? All right, and thank you, Director.
Of course.
Any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, and immediate effect has been in place as well. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 35, resolution by council members Paris and Enos awarding a competitive contract to Key Construction in the amount of $1,275,091 for the renovation of the Bryant Library Garden Hub and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The library is seeking council approval to award a renovation contract for the Bryant Library Garden Hub construction project. This strategic investment will modernize the site's infrastructure to improve accessibility, walkability, and ultimately expand the library's capacity for outdoor community programming. The current grounds no longer meet the operational needs of the library. Existing infrastructure, including the lack of parking, pathways, signage, is outdated and misaligned with the city's vision for a vibrant, inclusive community. This renovation will replace aging landscaping with sustainable features. It will transform the exterior into active gateway where residents can seamlessly connect with the library resources and partner programming. The library, in conjunction with purchasing, recommends the competitive purchase of Bryant Library Garden Hub connection in the amount of $1,275,091 to Key Construction. And the timeline for the project is 90 to 100 days with immediate effect is being requested as well. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, any objection to the unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item, I apologize. Next item.
Number 36, resolution by council members Enos and O'Reilly, granting the request of the Assure Project to conduct their 12th annual March for Justice procession rally on Sunday, June 28th, 2026, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., with assistance from the Police Department for traffic and safety control for the entire duration of the event, subject to reimbursement for city services and facilities in certain stipulations, also granting a noise waiver for the duration of the event and requesting immediate effect.
All right, Mr. Clerk, thank you. The 12th Annual March for Justice, organized by the Shooter Project, is a solemn ritual observed globally in commemoration of the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, during the Battle of the Karbala. The march is scheduled for June 28, 2026, and is set to begin at Fortson High School and continue to Ford Woods Park. It is also requested that the city noise ordinance be waived for this event. A Shooter Project will also be renting Ford Woods Park on January 28, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in anticipation that they have attendees, and approximately 3,000 people in the march, and immediate effect is being requested. I know, if we can have the police, yeah, we have you up. I know this is an ongoing event for many, many years and been very successful. I just want to make sure, because over the last few years, if you can just say your name and rank again for the...
Commander Vincent Bololi, I'm the Patrol Division Commander at the Police Department.
Thank you. So, Commander, our biggest concern, I've voiced this to myself as far as to the police and the chief, is as it continues to grow, the safety and security of the residents and the traffic on Ford Road. I think we've done a tremendous job of keeping it as close to possible as how many lanes will be shut down. But are you anticipating any larger aspects, or do you feel that you have enough coverage? Because we do get some concerns from residents on the passing on Ford Road. As you know, it is one of the major thoroughfares of our city.
Yes, Council President, as you've stated, this has been an ongoing event for many years. I have not seen the specific plans of it myself for this year, but I can assure you that those will be looked at in detail. We will have enough people there. If we have to add from previous years, we will.
All right. I am a little concerned, too, because just really want to make it really, maybe not concerned, but address with you for the police. I know that in the previous year, from my understanding, some air traffic control was flying around. Is that something that, because
we did have an incident in a previous year where an individual had hired a private helicopter to fly over this march. And once that occurred, some notifications were made and they were moved away from there.
All right.
The specific details of what followed, as far as there might have been some enforcement action, I would have to look into that.
No, I don't need you to look at, Mayor, I got it. Yeah, I don't need you to look into it. I appreciate that, but my concern is I want to make sure that the ordinance reads that way. I mean, whether we have control of the airspace or not, I would not be in favor of voting for this if there is going to be any air use or air use of any vehicle, whether it's a helicopter, plane, drop over. Absolutely not. So
I'm not sure how you
it's federal authority, but we have the right to approve it. So here's my concern. So let me just hear them out.
I know, just being clear, though. I know, just one second. The Shooter procession, the Shooter project has nothing to do with any of the air thing that happened 2 years ago. That was a single resident that went and chartered the helicopter, got federal approval, and brought it close to the procession. This organization just has the march.
Okay, so so your understanding is the organization had no coordination with a helicopter driving by?
Zero.
Okay.
That is correct.
And that's your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. So for my colleagues, I agree with that. I appreciate that. But as I indicated to Corporation Counsel and before, I like things to be in writing myself personally. So I don't know if my colleagues, but this was offered by Councilman Enos and Councilman O'Reilly. Councilman Enos? You're hearing that? Okay. So I agree, and I'm sure, Mayor, you are correct, but I would be in favor of amending the ordinance to indicate that these members of the March for Justice, the Ashuta Project, be fully aware that, and of course I have to have support from my colleagues, that there should be no use of any type of air or aspect on this march. So that being said, that's my opinion. Councilman Enos, as the mayor's indicated, I don't know if you heard, but the mayor's indicating that the march people have nothing to do with the air helicopter that flew over a couple of years ago. So I don't see any harm of putting it into this, indicating to them that they cannot assist, coordinate, or have anything to do with any air use during this march.
Yeah, I support that.
Okay, Councilman O'Reilly, do you have any concerns on that?
No, I don't have any concerns putting it in. I'm not concerned. I wasn't concerned in the first place, so I'm not.
Right.
Again, it doesn't sound like they were a part of any of the air.
It doesn't sound like it either, and I understand the mayor. I believe he's telling us exactly what's happening. My concern is I can't sit up here. We have residents that have called about this for years, and it continues to grow, which I'm all for, right? It's good to have good participation, but I want to make sure that I can point to something indicating that if somebody does something and it's in coordination, that this would, I would not support this in the future. I don't think helicopters should be flying over these type of situations, even if it's a private person. If the private person felt that he had the right to do that, I want to make sure there was no coordination and effort with these people, because it will be a concern because there's complaints regarding it. Okay, hang on, you had a question? Yeah, that's for Councilman El Swafi.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to check with legal. Would this be legal to limit the organizers from using federal airspace?
Well, ultimately, the federal government regulates federal airspace, but in terms of granting the resolution at hand, the council can add conditions and stipulations to it. So in that sense, yes, you can require that the participants not add an aerial aspect or coordinate an aerial aspect into this. We wouldn't be regulating federal airspace in that sense. We're just regulating the actual participants to this resolution that they're seeking.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Hammoud, are you good?
Yeah, good.
I want to clarify, support the march they're trying to do here, but so as part of our resolution, are we also precluding them from utilizing like drones for photography?
We said aerial, the aspect of aerial is defined, and I don't know if Mr. Fisher or the commander would like, but I know with my limited experience in working with the police regarding the drone, there's a certain limit of which they can fly, which is not regulated. Once they go 5,
feet?
If you know, then that's
I
the question.
do know, yeah.
If you know, that's great. My question wasn't about the drones. My
Okay.
question was about helicopters flying over, and those exceed those limitations. The drones are different aspect.
So I think then what I'd propose is council clarifies that it's anything, heavier weight vehicles, or maybe something that goes by VFR, like actually regulated, as opposed to, we're not trying to ban them from using photography drones and then have the police department regulate that. I just want to make sure that we're kind of clear in whatever resolution we write.
Right. I agree totally. So I thought I made it clear regarding helicopter, but let's say any airspace unit that requires an operator to be on the unit.
Okay.
Is that fair? Can they sit on the drone?
So anything manned?
All right. Anything manned
Okay.
in the airspace shall not be allowed
All right.
In coordination or collaboration or approval with the Ashuta project. Does anybody disagree with that? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Clerk, that amendment shall be made.
Okay.
Commander, thank you so much. Any other questions or comments? Any objection to unanimous roll? The unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 37, resolution by council members Paris and Enos recognizing sponsorship award of $10,000 from Gernzie Farm Dairy for their recreation showmobile in the Summer Sounds Music Concert Series. Also authorizing the finance director to appropriate the sponsorship funds in the amount of $10,000 in the general fund, Recreation Camp Dearborn General Fund, and Camping/Publishing Fund.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Gernzie Farms Dairy of Northville, a longtime ice cream supplier at the canteen at the Dearborn Camp Dearborn, has agreed to a 3-year sponsorship of recreation snowmobile and a new Summer Sounds Music Concert Series. The Summer Sounds Music Concert Series will be held at the canteen. A total of 5 shows will be booking starting Memorial Weekend. That's the first show, which will be Sunday, May 24th. All right, we got a great picture there. Appreciate that. All performances will take place therein on Wednesday nights, starting on this at 7 p.m. and run until 9 p.m. The show will take place using the Parks and Recreation Showmobile. Is that right? Showmobile?
Yes.
All right, I thought snowmobile. Okay. Was undergoing a facelift. Is that the picture? That's some facelift. Looks like a new unit. Featuring a title and the sponsor from Gernzie Farms. The remaining concert dates will be June 24th, July 15th, July 29th, August 12th. The concert are open to both day users and campground users as well as families that stay overnight. The Parks and Recreation Department, in conjunction with purchasing, recommends that the council recognize and appropriate the $10,000 sponsorship award from Gernzie Farms for Camp Dearborn. The total sponsorship award will be $40,000, with $10,000 being recognized and appropriated in the fiscal year of 2026, pending budgetary approval, and $15,000 in 27, $15,000 in 28. An immediate effect is being requested. Would you like to come forward and give us some more feedback? I think it's a great program there. Showmobile.
Thank you, Council, Mayor. Steve Keyboard, Dearborn resident, city employee, TV2 resident. Gernzie Farms has been a long-time supplier for our ice cream. The Kinville family who owns Gernzie Farms, I want to give a special shout out to them. Their support of Camp Dearborn has been phenomenal the past so many years, and now having their name on the showmobile. We did resurrect the showmobile that was sitting in a parking lot on the south side, not being functionable for a couple years. We brought it out to camp, barely made it out there, Grand River, lost a tire on the way, but made it out there, and we were able to fix it up, fix the electrical. Gernzie sponsorship, we wrapped it. The picture was just up on the stage there. So it's exciting. We're going to be having a lot of activities circling around this stage, starting off this weekend. Sunday we'll have a concert. Etzel Ford grad band that used to play back in the day on the Strip in West Dearborn, Dan Mazer with Atomic Radio, and we have some really good bands booked for the rest of the year, for the rest of the summer. So we've expanded our programming out there, starting with this concert series. Again, we have fireworks this weekend. If any of you want to learn how to line dance on Tuesdays, we have line dancing starting June 16th. The month of July, bring your daughters to swim with a mermaid every Saturday in July. So we've expanded our programming for our customers and to bring people out to show the camp all the exciting things that we've done and the great changes we've done out there.
Oh, you guys have done a tremendous job. Swimming with the mermaid's got to be good. Who's going to be in that Instagram video?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I got 2 granddaughters, 4 and 3. I might come up there.
No,
that's good.
It was a huge hit last year. We had a really good turnout, and we're bringing it back this year in July. So Saturday mornings, every Saturday in July. So bring your daughters, your granddaughters out there. They'll really like it. And again, the line dancing is going to be a lot of fun too on Tuesday nights.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate the innovation and the continuing of reinvesting into Camp Dearborn from, of course, administration and down to you guys coming up with those ideas and continuing to go. And we appreciate it. We're hearing less and less of anything happening during the summer months and more about how good it's been. And, we haven't heard any calls about the Wi-Fi yet, so hopefully that's going good.
The Wi-Fi is up and running, and it's been tested. We've had our group out there. It's been successful. I can speak from personal experience. I was out there last night, and Wi-Fi is working. So that has been good. I do want a special thanks to the council, to administration, the mayor, and Director Fletcher for everything that has been going on and the support that we've had with camp. We were at a chamber event here on Valley Chamber event this morning, Director Fletcher and I. We had 25 members of the chamber at the chalet, and nothing but positive feedbacks about the property, the things that have been going on at camp. The buzz around Milford is camp is back, and it's we're making customers happy. So
Yeah, it's a great feeling. You know, in the past, I don't want to really shed too much light, but I asked when I first started many years ago, how's our relationship with Milford? And it says the relationship is they serve us with a lawsuit, we serve them with a lawsuit. So I'm glad that we're actually having communications. We're doing good work there with them and working together as we sit in their jurisdiction. And it's making things much more easier and friendly for our camp goers. And keep reinvesting, because Camp Dearborn's not going anywhere.
not going anywhere.
All right.
It's only been better. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments from my colleagues? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 38, resolution by council members Enos and O'Reilly, authorizing the purchase of the property located at 5120 Porath for the amount of $275,000 and up to an additional amount of $25,000 for closing and demolition costs. Also authorizing the mayor and corporation council or his designee to execute the documents necessary to effectuate this purchase, and authorizing the finance director to issue his proper warrant in the amount of $275,000 for the purchase price and up to $25,000 for closing and demolition costs, and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Ms. Clerk. The city has an opportunity to purchase 5120 Porath. It's a 30 by 103 foot for the negotiated price of sale of $275,000. The acquisition is a continuation of a longstanding over, I believe, at least 20 years of the city's efforts to land bank these properties in the Eugene Porath area for future redevelopment, and we're getting very close. So as condition of the sale, the seller will remain on the property as a leasee for a period not to exceed 60 days before following the closing, of course. No rent will be payable from the seller to the city during that 60-day duration. The seller will pay for all utility and maintenance during that time period, and all terms and conditions of a rental agreement are memorialized in a separate lease agreement between the city and the seller. Any questions or comments on this item? Councilman Paris.
Thank you, Council President. Committee of the Whole, we had a good discussion and a lot of information from Kaylee too. I appreciate that, and the Chief of Staff to bring to light some information about this property, and then the next item after this one. I'm glad to find out that the demolition cost, from what I'm understanding, is from CDGB funds, so that $25,000 for the demolition. But I just personally am looking at this with a little bit of concern, because we have purchased a number of properties, even just the last couple of years, some large businesses that have recently been brought down, demoed. We spent a lot of money for those businesses, and we still have a business that we bought that we're still allowing some income coming to us at another property that we did sell, and still allowing the business to go forward and run for a little while longer. We've had an agreement with that, but I'm starting to think that, you know, this has been going on for at least 20, 30 years, the land banking. We had intermodal transportation that was thought to have gone in there at one time, or looking forward to, or looking towards that. I'm not saying that I'm in favor of that at all, because that would not be environmentally friendly for that area, and there's a lot of things to consider. But here's the bottom line for me before we go on, is a purchase price of $275,000 for a property that the assessor's value opinion on this is $151,000, and then you go ahead online and do any searching about this property with the square footage, other sales for that area or comparables, considerably less. For me, I'd like to say that $275,000 for me is too high for me to vote on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Mayor, you want to chime in? I'm just wondering what the difference is between this and the last one.
We had the realtor do the comps in this area. If anybody can point me to a house in Dearborn for $151,000, please let me know, because there's probably 100,000 residents that'll be lined up to buy it. The comps on this home are actually running in like the low twos. And so we're obviously negotiating. People know the government is buying. We've been buying for 25 years. To the councilman's point about, where we're going in 25 years, we are the ones who halted the sale of becoming trucking. So I'm not sure why that's coming back up or why you anticipate that to happen.
I'm not in favor of it.
Yeah, okay, great. Neither are we, because we're the ones who actually halted it. In terms of what positive developments have happened in terms of acquiring this, you have a new $35 million substance use facility that's coming online due to the fact that some of the parcels have been acquired near that parcel, and that is a return on your investment in acquiring these parcels. So that alone, that $35 million investment, the quality of life boost that we're going to get to have such services in our backyard, that's just one benefit of having acquired these parcels, and you're aware of this because you transferred ownership of some of those parcels to permit that development to occur within the city of Dearborn. We're still master planning in terms of what ultimately will occur. We have one house that locks up 20 acres, and I think our remaining 4 houses that lock up the additional 10. Without acquiring them, you can't usher in any development. If you announce what you're going to do, you're going to be thankful
Price is gonna go
for
up.
paying $275. And so obviously we're doing this strategically. We're acquiring one by one. In this case, we got 2 at a time. And so we'll keep moving forward in a prudent fashion. If you don't support it, I understand, but we have to keep acquiring in order for us to actually have the ability to develop on 30 acres. Even if one house exists in the middle, you can't develop on the whole parcel if that house is there. Look at Lakeside Mall. They wanted to develop it, but the owner of Macy's sat on Macy's, knowing that the rest of the mall was acquired. And so we don't want that to happen. We're working diligently and making progress.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Just to clarify again, some of the comments about buying a business and letting them stay there was approved by the council, in which I believe you voted yes on.
Yes, I did.
You did, okay. Just want to make sure. So my other concern is that this is a long-standing project, and I'm just wondering what is different from this house and the last 4 or 5 that were very similar in price, because none of them were less than this, that you had no problem with those, but so I guess you want to stop on this, and you have the right to do that, but my point is, I don't do no job halfway. I don't believe we should enter an agreement to acquire property over 3 administrations. Is that to make this a better process for the city of Dearborn residents? And everyone has their right. But to me, I think it's extremely hypocritical to vote on some and then stop voting when you get to the end. That's like running a marathon and stopping 100 yards before the end. I'll never do that, and I don't believe in that. But I want to make sure it's abundantly clear to the residents, that it's very hard I don't know how, for me it is hard, but I don't know how others can sit up here, vote on the same properties 6 months ago, vote yes on a contract, but then this one we should stop on. But that's the right of the council member, but I think it's very important for the community and the residents to know that as well. You have to go ahead and complete a job. That's why the residents elected the people up here, not to stop halfway or 3/4 of the way through. This project has streamed through 3 administrations, 3 different mayors. And I think it's a tremendous project and needs to get completed. And we know it's a long-standing process because people have property rights and some people don't want to go. I think we're extremely fortunate enough to get these. And in my opinion, and based on what the numbers are, they're very comparable to the numbers that were approved by this council and the previous council that sat the 34th council as well. So I hope that we finish the job that we were supposed to do. And hopefully we'll get the rest of it towards the end. Who knows, God willing, but I don't believe we should stop now. In regards to bringing up other aspects that are not pertinent to this resolution, my concern again is that, just to clarify, I would love to when I vote no on something, I'll let you know why, and then I won't bring it up again when I voted yes. So when I vote no for something, you'll know exactly why. That's just for myself. But to me, I don't think it's pertinent to bring up previous item that's not in front of you in which you supported and saying that this is the reason why. But I want to make sure that the residents know that we are doing everything we can to acquire property so that we can have a major development and take control of areas that are well needed to be taken by the city. And it's, as I indicate, this is not something happened under the current Mayor Hammoud's administration. This goes back to Mayor Guido's administration. It may even go back previous, but I don't have that much historical data. We might have to ask our curator at the museum. But I think it goes back that far. We'll get that answer later. But hopefully we can finish the job. Any other questions or comments? Okay, unanimous roll, please. I'm sorry, not unanimous roll. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Okay, we'll start with Councilmember Paris.
No.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud?
Yep.
Councilmember El Swafi?
Yes.
Council President Sereni?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Reilly?
Yes.
Councilmember Enos?
Yes.
6 yeas, the resolution passes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item number 39, resolution by council members Enos and O'Reilly, authorizing the purchase of the property located at 5045 Porath for the amount of $250,000 and up to an additional amount of $25,000 for closing and demolition costs. Also authorizing Corporation Counsel or his designee to execute the documents necessary to effectuate this purchase, and also authorizing the finance director to issue his proper warrant in the amount of $250,000 for the purchase price and up to an additional $25,000 for closing and demolition costs, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The city has an opportunity to purchase 5045 Porath, a 30 by 103 foot for negotiated sale price of $250,000 from the owner. Given the significance of this property and discussed regarding the Eugene Porath area, it is recommended that the council approves this purchase of this property, and as well as the closure documents within 60 days of delivery of the commitment of title and title insurance. And any other questions or comments? This is the companion fee for the one. Councilman Paris.
Thank you, Council President. Similarly, with this property, I have some of the same comments, but with a little bit more information. This house 4 years ago sold for $69,900. Now we're asking to go ahead and vote on purchasing it for $250,000. Assessor's value was $121,000. Just to clarify this item and the prior item, I'm not saying I'm not in favor of going forward and purchasing properties. What I am saying that I think we're paying too much for some of these properties. These two in particular, or this one at 5045 Porath, it's 792 square feet. It's 2-bedroom. I can't see spending $250,000 in that area where the land value and the home is that much in a Porath, Eugene area. Just drive down that area. I don't believe that we should be paying that much for it and negotiate it for a lower price for some of the remaining properties to see if we can do that. And for this reason, I'll be voting no on this item.
All right, excellent. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Mr. Clerk, can we have the roll call vote?
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud?
Yes.
Councilmember El Swafi?
Yes.
Council President Sereni?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Reilly?
Yes.
Councilmember Enos?
Yes.
Councilmember Paris?
No.
6 yeas, the resolution passes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item 40 is a resolution by Councilmembers El Swafi and Paris concurring in the appointment of Lola Elzine to the West Dearborn Downtown Development Authority with a term ending June 30th, 2030, and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. This is an appointment to Lola Elzane to West Dearborn Downtown Authority, or the WDDDA, a 4-year term that shall end on June 30th, 2030. And we'd like to again remind all of our residents that these are voluntary boards. We'd like to thank our commissioners for their invaluable service and their commitment to their community and giving back. This is a great way to be involved in whatever expertise or area that you have. And I think she will do a tremendous job, Ms. Elzane. Any questions or comments? Okay. Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
There are no further items on tonight's agenda, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. All right, before I open it up to my colleagues, a couple of special announcements. I want to make sure that I should have, we didn't have a picture on this, but we have a yard sign program. Director Phillips, yard sign program. So we have a special yard sign program showcasing 347 service members and fallen heroes that lived in the city of Dearborn. I'm fortunate enough to get one of these signs. This is a big year, folks, as we are celebrating as our country 250th year. And of course, 100 years, the longest standing parade in the state, correct? And it is here in your great hometown of Dearborn. So Director, why don't you tell us a little about the yard sign project?
Yeah, so the yard sign project is to commemorate all of the servicemen and women that passed in active duty while serving overseas. If you would like to get a yard sign, you can go on dearborn.gov. If you'd like a yard sign, you can go to dearborn.gov and you can sign up for one. You can also call 311 or 2150, and my staff will put you on the list to receive one. There's two types of yard signs. One is for a hero that lived at your address. We also have them going out to schools and businesses. So it's a hero that lived here, worked here, went to school here. And you can also just get a commemorative sign to talk about those folks and commemorate them. You can also drive down Michigan Ave right now and see all of the
Well, that's my next point. Hang on.
yeah, go for it.
All right.
I will take it.
Director, you're taking my thunder. I didn't get to talk enough during the council meeting. I know, huh? All right, let me hold you up here. This is a great deal. This was something that a resident brought forward, which you already were working on. So he felt great. He said, "You guys answered exactly what I wanted to do." We didn't take credit. We told him it was already in the works, but we appreciate that he's in the same line of thinking as the City of Dearborn administration. And this is Michigan Avenue.
Yes.
The signs are tremendous, beautiful, classy, dignified. And this is to honor our the street poles, to contribute to tribute to our Dearborn service members. Many of them, why don't you tell us now about those? Many of them are fallen heroes from years past.
Yes, all of them. So all of those are folks. Yeah, all of them are servicemen and women that passed in service. And yeah, you can drive down. You can see their pictures. We worked with Lisa Lark, who's a historian who works on this project. It's like her lifelong project. She's amazing to work with. To provide those photos, the branch they worked in, and their names. So drive down Michigan Avenue. It's also along our parade route for the Memorial Day parade. So you can see them.
Fabulous. So is it go all the way to from where's the duration of them? Because I've seen them, but I don't know the duration. Like, do they go from Schaefer?
But you keep asking me geography questions, and I'm not.
Yeah, we
good
got to
at
get
answering
some.
them.
We got to get you on the Google Maps.
But
Don't we have
Dearborn,
that?
East
IT
Dearborn.
has the maps.
Yeah.
Should be able to have that. I think they start around Schaefer, but I know I've seen them. So tremendous work. Councilman El Sawafi, you'd like to add something?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. I just had some questions. Can residents still submit a recommendation for somebody, or what is that process like?
So
a fallen hero.
Right now, we're not able to take any recommendations for folks. What's up is up at this point. But if a resident would like to be put in touch with Lisa Lark to kind of add to that project, I'm sure that she'd be all ears.
Where can they go? Where can they go to add them?
Yeah.
Where can they go to add add somebody or for the future?
They should call 311 and ask to speak to me, and I'll get it figured out.
Director Phillips.
Yep.
That's awesome. And then the yard signs, I actually drove by Fortson High School. I think you put one up there, right? Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm like, how did they? But now I connected the dots. And then the yard sign, if you call 311.
Yep, you can call 311 and my team can get you signed up for one. You can also go to dearborn.gov. I think it should be on the front page.
And then you pick it up, or is
the city, one of my neighborhood liaisons will drop it off.
Oh, that's perfect. That's awesome.
That's great.
That was a question I had.
Phenomenal. Yeah, the great signage. We really appreciate the fact. I mean, we have a longstanding Allied War veterans, and they're celebrating their 100th year as well. So, City of Dearborn has been a longstanding tradition. There is things that traditional maybe people don't like or do like are very sacred in the City of Dearborn. I like to uphold them, and I think that we are doing a tremendous job to make sure that we look back at our fallen heroes and recognize our military personnel. So a great event, and appreciate all that you do regarding that. I know we have a couple other things. Councilman Paris, along the line, go ahead.
Along the same line, I just wanted to give a shout out to, as you remember, you made mention of the resident that came forward.
Yes.
That's Larry Jackson.
Yes, sir.
And I know he gave us a presentation on this. He contacted me earlier too and was very passionate about it. So I want to make sure he got some recognition on this too, the work and effort that he put forward on this. But of course, Lisa Lark, that's been involved for so many years. So I thank you for this. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Excellent. Great work. Don't go. We got a couple other things. I got to mention this, and I'm going to get to the last one here. We have an outdoor stroll gallery at the Peace Parks through the month of May. Great, another great event. We continue to do the programming in those areas. I think they've been tremendous. And I know there's been a lot of foot traffic down there. We're doing the best we can to keep the people getting in and out of there as well. Lastly, the Memorial Day Parade. Big deal, 100 years. I have not been able to get anybody to leak to me what the flyover is yet.
It will 100%. It's happening.
We're having a flyover.
Yes, it's going to happen.
All right, just want to make sure. The parade is next week on this week coming up, right?
Yep,
Monday?
Monday.
The Memorial Day Parade. So in honor of the 100th Memorial Day Parade and additional programming is taking place, of course, just keep in mind, I mean, all of us, right, we're victims to the hot dogs, hamburgers, and all that, but this is really about the service of our members, honoring what they, you know, like I've said, you know, and everybody knows, Councilman El Sawafi here has served in his capacity. You know, the service is not free. There's a cost. I have very proudly indicated my brother has been serving over 31 years. He is a captain in the United States Navy, and he is going to be our Grand Marshal, Sam Serini. So a tremendous honor for my family, for him. I can't wait to see him. He was really excited. Even did an interview with the mayor I had no idea about. That's a good thing. And, you know, a hometown kid, went to McDonald School, Lori, Fortson High School, and went off to ROTC through Iowa State University. He got his master's in biochemistry and has been highly accommodated and accomplished. I was recognized by Debbie Dingle as one of the first Arab American naval officers to command a warship, the USS Nitz. A tremendous honor. So it's always great to have a hometown guy. Yeah, it's even better. He's my kid brother. Other than he booked his flight at like 6 a.m. I got to pick him up. I don't know why he picked 6 a.m. Is that a military thing? I know he
Wakes
sent
up
it to me.
early.
What is it? 0600. I was like, what is that? 6 p.m. He's like, no, 6 a.m. I'm like, oh, geez. Yes. So we're gonna be there. Now from the council, we have a big surprise, folks. Thanks to my council members and support and our tremendous staff finding every single penny in our budget, pretty much. We got it on the screen? Boom. There you go. The council has been authorized to pass out for the first 4,300 people. Take a look at that, folks. That's a real rendering of our officers holding the casket and indicating that the City of Dearborn Memorial Day Parade, 100 years of celebration. This coin that I have here and is on the screen will be given out. We're going to have staff of the council walking side by side with our council members and our council banner recognizing the 35th City Council down the Michigan Avenue Parade route. And we're going to have staff on both sides passing these coins out. Please, we'd like to try to give everybody that can one. And we're going to have our staff wearing shirts. So please, if you see the staff, raise your hand, take a look at this coin. It's a great commemorative, and you know, you never know, folks. You know, I mean, we're getting up in age, but you know, I got stuff 25 years old too. You know, it becomes valuable. These things become valuable. 50 years from now, Jack, we got to get one of these in the museum. All right, I'm gonna make sure I get you this one. You got it. So the first 4,200 or so line the streets early. When you see the council pulling up, you will see people too. We got 4 people, Jackie? 2 on either side passing out? We're working on it. All right, well, we need some volunteers. Well, I know the chief of police and the fire chief always helps me, that's for sure. We need some cadets, chief. We're going to have 4 people, 2 on each side of the street walking through. Folks, make sure you raise your hand, get your coin. The council members will have a few extra for themselves, of course. I'd like to thank my colleagues. This was a big deal. We also, folks, out of respect for our military personnel, ran this by our Dearborn Allied Ward veterans to make sure that they felt it was tasteful, that it was warranted, that it was respectful, and they gave it glowing reviews. So tremendous coin, and you know, remember, you know, 100 years is a big deal, folks. The largest standing parade in the state of Michigan, longer than, you know, any others out there, longer than Fenton, Kalamazoo, all of them. So hopefully anybody that's out there in lines of street, take one for you, and I wish you the best from the City Council and my colleagues. Thank you guys all for agreeing and supporting this. So the flyby, we'll see what it comes out to be.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys Monday from the council. That's for me, my council colleagues. Anything from my colleagues? Okay. The mayor had to step out. Nothing from the mayor and the administration. Mr. Clerk, anything from your department?
Real fast, we're getting to that election season once again, so always looking for election workers.
Where do they go?
They can contact us at the clerk's office. The council has been very fair in paying them the amount of money that they deserve, and so we think we can now attract more people to work at our elections. It's going to be bigger than last year because last year was just the city election. This year it's a state election and a federal. And so we'll have about maybe 30% more people voting this time around than we did last year.
Well,
So-
thank you, Mr. Clerk. Just
Thank
for
you.
the residents, I do appreciate it, and then I want to thank you for making sure that you did the appropriate appropriation and asked the council, gave us the exact numbers, and we all agreed. And then I appreciate you looping us in with the HR to make sure that the funding's there. What's the dollar rate is going to be now for let these residents know, or people that are out there would like to go?
So voting assistance starting July 1st with the passage of the budget will be $20 for the voting assistance, but the
An
other
hour, $20 an hour.
$20 an hour.
Yep.
And the other folks will get paid per the day, depending on what their function is. But most people that work at the precincts will get between $275 and $350 for working the full 13, 14-hour day at the precincts.
$275 to $325.
Yes.
All right, so we should have no problem with coverage. I mean, I might come work for
I'm on the same
$325
page.
a day.
Yes.
So hey,
there you go.
Please make sure we get enough people to sign up that this is, look, what can you say on election? You can't put no price on it. And I agree with you. There's going to be ballot initiatives, gubernatorial, and a tremendous amount of primaries in the state. So anybody interested in signing up, that's a very good, healthy sum. And we're doing that because we want to attract people that really want to come in. To the clerk's defense, and we've had conversation with him, you know, there was many people that did not come in. That had signed up and did not make it through.
Yep.
And I think, you know, as we continue to raise, we will attract, you know, what we offer. So hopefully this will help, Mr. Clerk.
Yeah, I think it will. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, next we will move to our second and final public comment. Anyone here to address the city council regarding city business? And do we have any cards? No. All right, no one? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Hamud. We are adjourned.